Hi, everyone. Welcome to Club Rats. My name is John.
Faraz.
I'm Jesiah.
Special guest, my dad, Ross. First, we're going to go over college football, the playoff. We're about 1 week away from having the final 12.
Conference Championship Week.
Conference Championship Week. We'll start with the ACC, which is just... The ACC has just turned into a total debacle this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a pretty strong possibility they don't get a team in.
They seem undeserving to me
Duke
of having a team, probably.
Well, if Duke wins, they won't get a team.
That's a 7-win, or they'll 8 with the win, but you can't have
Virginia's favored in that game.
Yes.
And Duke has had, you want to see a tape, watch Duke, UConn. And Duke lost that game to UConn. And there's another.
And that's not a basketball game, it's a football game.
No, that's right.
If it was basketball, it'd be different, but football. So you got Duke, somehow with the ACC tiebreaker, they managed to get over Miami. Obviously, Georgia Tech lost. Pitt, their win didn't matter, I guess, or they didn't have enough wins to get into the ACC championship game, even though they beat Georgia Tech. So, I mean, we'll go with them. We'll go with that conference first because it's just really whoever wins it, even if it is Virginia, and will they put Virginia in?
Yeah, Virginia will make.
They're a two-loss team.
So Virginia would get in.
Yeah.
What seed would they? What's the last? The last seed would go to the Group of 5 team, right?
That's the 12th seed.
So like James Madison.
Right now would be the winner of North Texas and Tulane.
Then is James Madison like in that 11 spot?
They would. James Madison.
Oh, they're not even in the conversation.
If Virginia wins the ACC, that would take. That would give them an automatic berth. They'd get in through an automatic berth. If Duke wins, the ACC would be locked out, and so they would need to have 2 more conference champions.
Well, they take 2 Group of 5 teams. If Duke wins that's what they're going to do. So you just said it was Tulane versus who?
North Texas.
Then the other one I've heard is James Madison.
James Madison's playing against Troy, and they're heavily favored.
So
if
the Group of 5's rooting for Duke hardcore for chaos.
Yes. They would get 2 teams.
They would elevate them.
And I would guess that would be your 11 and 12 seeds. Virginia would be stuck in at 10. Although you can make a case, the Group of 5 teams are probably better than Virginia. So the committee, in terms of
North Texas. Now Tulane's coach just left, right? He's at Florida.
He's the Florida coach.
Whether he's going to remain on.
He's going to stay coaching.
So college, I mean, just talking about this, college got a lot of problems. They got
speaking of coaches.
Yeah, they have to get their timelines. Because essentially it's pro football. It's a lesser pro football than the NFL, but college football is pro football. So we have to get, a free agency period, a transfer period, when a coach can leave. Like right now, LSU just hired Lane Kiffin, who just got Ole Miss into the playoff. They might have had their greatest season ever, arguably.
Yeah, but
arguably
all this.
So he's not even going to coach the team.
You just make it as soon.
You got to make it. You got to make a
as
timeline.
Soon as the college championship is over, the next week, coach, just like with the NFL.
Exactly.
The coaches can move, the players transfer portal, everybody get done, so you can get into your next race for winter ball.
It should be
That's all you got to do.
One of the reasons that there's been a lot of coaching movement right now is because signing day is this coming Wednesday.
Yeah, no, well, that's what they're all worried about under this current. And also, like, if you are LSU, if you're Florida, Penn State's recruiting class has already been raped.
Off a cliff.
Yeah, they've got 10 kids, and none of them. Well, I didn't think.
Well, no, Franklin's got.
Anyway.
He's going to try to get those guys to
Virginia Tech. Yeah, no, that's what he's doing.
I mean, that's actually what Kiffin's going to do with all this.
Absolutely,
he'll try
to take a handful.
He'll try to, yes, but
it kind of cannibalizes the current year. Like,
it's over.
Ole Miss has lost all their coaches.
LSU's Brian Kelly's recruiting class has been holding. On 24/7, they're like 11th, 12th in the nation, and they have 24/7 does this where each player they give them a ranking percent wise.
Yeah.
LSU's got like the second behind Oregon. Now they're not the number 1 team is SC, but SC's got 35 kids and a bunch of 3 stars.
Average per
Oregon and LSU have the quality recruits, and LSU the kids all didn't take off.
LSU's got big
when
money.
Brian Kelly.
They're paying Kiffin $13 million a year.
Yeah, I think
Which
those
I think
kids
is just,
at LSU hated. Well, I think most people
hate
Brian Kelly. Yeah, so they wanted to go to LSU and they're staying.
And they're still paying Brian Kelly as of right now.
Yeah,
until he. I would guess he's going to get a job somewhere.
I don't know.
He may not. No,
Yeah,
he may not.
He might be done.
Well, when I say somewhere, he may even be on TV.
Yeah.
Whatever job he has, it'll mitigate the buyout somewhat. Obviously, these guys on TV don't make what the coaches make, but he'll be working
He'll be somewhere.
I don't think he'll coach again. I really don't.
He will.
I think he will.
He will. There's going to be a mid-major.
I thought Michigan State might make a move on him because he
killed someone.
it's called the GLIAC, the Great Lakes Athletic Conference. He won a
Saginaw
couple
Valley State or
national.
let
me say
Grand
that. I'm
Valley
going to
State.
get this out there because I don't see anything. There's a guy at Ferris State by the name of Tony Anise.
Great coach.
And if somebody would hire him,
I was worried
And
Michigan
I'm
State was
talking
going to hire him.
Michigan State,
he would have been
I think he should be
terrible.
the head coach at Michigan. Florida, LSU, that quarterback at Ole Miss, I can't think of his name. Anise had him at Ferris State.
No, Anise is a good coach.
He's won everywhere he's been.
The only problem with Anise is
he is 64.
He's 64.
But
so you know,
Signetti was.
I agree. No,
and Sig's close to 70. Sig, I don't buy into though. Indiana right now has the 30th ranked class in the country.
You can't.
And he can do this stuff with. Well, this leads me to another thing. We're not coming up on the playoff. And tell me who the best team is. And I know everybody's going to shout out Ohio State. And the next thing I'm going to say is, who the hell has Ohio State played? Give me a team they've played. And don't say Texas, because that Texas group is really a 5 or 6 loss team. And I know they just beat the great Texas A&M team, and they beat Oklahoma with a one-armed bandit at quarterback there. Give me somebody else. Don't tell me Michigan. I know they suck.
No, but they're running around saying that's a great win.
Well, that's what the media says. Yeah. And Indiana's worse. Actually, Indiana's a toe tap, one-handed catch against Penn State. Iowa had their ass beat down, and Kirk Ferentz found a way to blow the game.
Indiana's a well-coached team, but they don't have the players.
But my point is,
top to bottom,
and we're seeing this in the NFL, the Bears and the Patriots are where they're at, in part because of their schedule. This college thing has got to change. These SEC teams beat the hell out of each other. Those Big Ten teams haven't played anybody. I don't even know how those 2 Ohio State receivers are hurt. Who the hell have they played to get hurt? They're missing 3 games. Well, that's, of course, receivers are always kind of that way.
But yeah, like, why does Alabama and Georgia play?
And they're going to beat them.
And you know someone's going to get hurt.
Conference championship games.
That got hurt last year. Last year, of their season. Probably.
Last year, the Chiefs had the Broncos on the last day of the season. You know what the Chiefs did? They benched everybody, and they lost the game 37-0. But who cares? You got the playoffs and the Super Bowl. See, I think Ohio State would have been better to lose. I would have tanked that game. Start getting ready for the playoff. Let's get ready to go.
So Ross,
Virginia's a 3.5-point favorite.
3.5.
So Duke is viable in that game. When you're only a field goal dog,
Duke can win that. Oh, Virginia's not a lock.
Yeah. Ross, so if Ohio State's frauds, who's your favorite to win? If you had to pick a team.
No, I don't. Well, again, what I want to say, somebody out of the SEC, whoever comes out of that, whether it's Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Texas can still.
Where we know it's not Ole Miss.
We ran to the group of 5. If Duke wins that game, does the committee take the 3-loss Texas team, who's beaten 3 teams at the time they played them, were in the top 10? They've done that 3 times this year. Would you take them over one of those groups? Actually, if Duke won that game, because it'd be great to watch the committee sit there.
I think they have to take 5 conference champions, and it doesn't have to be the highest ranked. It just has to be 5 conference.
So a
champions.
group of 5 champion plus the Power 4, or the group of 4. So, but if do you take that extra group of 5? Or do you let Texas slip in because they have 3 quality wins?
If Duke loses, they would have, and they don't plan on bringing the ACC in. That means they bring the American champ, North Texas Tulane. That's a pretty much assured spot for the group of 5. But they'd still need to take 1 more conference champion.
Oh, so it'd be a group of 5.
So it would be a group of 5.
It has to be a second group of 5. They can't do an at-large with Texas.
Right. It would.
Yeah. See, James Madison's 11-1. They're 23.5-point favorites against Troy. So you would expect them to win that game, and that would give them 12 wins. It'd be 12-1.
And if Troy wins, that's where this is the ultimate mastermind plan.
UNLV's got a shot.
UNLV technically would have a shot.
I was going to. I'm glad you brought up UNLV because
they're only a 3.5-point dog.
10-win seasons
is impressive.
Is an achievement. Let me say this about UNLV though. Where is that Boise State game at? Is it down here?
It's in Boise.
Oh, it's in Boise.
Which is a nightmare.
Yeah, so I'm not counting any.
My biggest problem with college football right now, though, is the scheduling.
Yeah.
the schedule, it determines everything right now. You can, if you literally jury rig your schedule, you can make your, like, if I mean, again, I'll just use Michigan. I'll use UNLV for an example. They lost to New Mexico, right? Here in Vegas. Mm-hmm. Michigan, who I think is maybe the worst 9-win team ever, beat that New Mexico team by 14 points. Still beat them by 2 touchdowns. Does UNLV, are they really worthy of a playoff spot?
No,
yes.
But truthfully,
probably UNLV isn't going to get in though.
I mean, very slim. I mean, they need Duke to win. They got to win their own.
When's the last time UNLV beat Boise State?
I think it's like the 70s.
Okay, so let's beat
Boise
State.
State. 50 years
and then
so it's not.
Let's see what Duke does.
But yeah,
some of these
looking
other
at the point spread, they're only a 3.5 point dog. That's not crazy.
The point spread last year when Boise State
it was like 13, I think.
I don't think it was that.
Yes, it was. No, pretty sure it was double digits.
Because we went to that game
here when they beat them, but then the one in Boise, they were double digits.
About the repeat.
They were double-digit favorites,
because
easily.
but
anyway,
but so not only is the scheduling,
they got to get the scheduling a little bit more.
These conference
fair.
championship games for some of these teams, Alabama, and Georgia. What is that game?
Indiana, Ohio State. They're only playing for seeding.
Ohio State doesn't give you anything. Now BYU, Texas Tech. That's a rematch.
Faraz, let me ask you this though.
Penn State's looking at Sataki, the BYU coach.
Alabama, if they lose, they'll have 3 losses, and they're 10. Now I know they're playing at Georgia again. Their second time playing Georgia.
Well, I was thinking that Alabama's out.
Is Alabama out?
Yeah, I'm gonna take 3 losses. If Texas has got to be out,
I don't know. I don't know if you'd penalize a team for making the conference championship game and losing it.
Well, we've done
to a team they already beat.
But I mean, that means. So then would you take
crazy.
Ole Miss over Alabama?
I'm saying
Ole Miss will be ranked higher at a minimum. This is what 3 of the conference championship games, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC. Tell me what those games are
Ole Miss
telling.
is in. They're 11-1.
Tell me what those games
in already.
Who is?
Ole Miss is 11.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
No, Ole Miss is
7.
in.
But in
Alabama,
but
in the
you'd be penalizing Alabama for making the championship.
Let me
that's the system.
Hang on a second.
Have.
This is more college bullshit. The committee has said if your quarterback's out or your coach is gone, we can grade you down for that.
Kiffin leaving will be hurt.
They said they can grade you based on how they see you play. So like they have no evidence specifically because they were asked us about Ole Miss because all the scuttlebutt.
But they're a lame duck team right now. Scuttlebutt.
But like they said that they can't evaluate Ole Miss without Kiffin because they haven't seen him play without Kiffin. So they have to assume.
I'm just saying, you're going into your biggest game without your head coach. It's not an optimal.
I mean, that's what they're saying. Human nature is a different thing. Like, of course,
the other elephant in the room on this whole thing, though, and this is why I hate these committees and selection process. Tell me why Notre Dame's over Miami. Tell me why.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Why they play the game?
Why was Notre Dame sitting there with 2 losses, put in the top 10 way back in the first time? Why? Because they beat a bunch of bullshit teams by big scores.
It's guys in a room trying to pick the biggest TV.
Well, Notre Dame is good for the TV.
Good for TV.
There's no doubt about that. So you're going to have to watch
it. Fingers, Notre Dame.
You're going to have to watch all that stuff. And hey,
the committee was trying. If they could have gotten Michigan in,
I know
they wanted them in so bad.
You've brought up. It brings into question officiating. You've got the gambling going on. The game.
I'm telling you, if Michigan had a pulse as a team, we had a player headbutt the ref, and they didn't kick him out of the game.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
They wanted us to win. We didn't have a team.
Ohio State's already in. You've got that.
Yeah, they want both in.
Nothing.
They want a
Ohio
rematch
State.
in the playoffs.
So
that's all
let
they
Michigan
want.
win. You can get them in. You can get your Michigan Notre Dame game or Ohio State Michigan rematch.
Let's get back. Okay, so BYU, Texas Tech. Obviously, the winner's in.
I think Texas Tech's in even if they lose.
Yes, Texas Tech
with 2 losses.
They will probably get in even with 2 losses. They probably will.
Are they like the 11 seed?
Texas Tech is a dangerous team. Texas Tech is a dangerous team.
See,
they paid a lot of money for.
I think if Texas Tech played Ohio State in the first round, I think Texas Tech could beat Ohio State.
If Ohio State's not ready to play, which
how can they be ready to play?
Well, you don't. I don't know. What I would say, and thanks to you, I've watched all the tape. Little Julian saying there, I've seen him, the 5'9"
I was
wonder
not
there.
impressed with Ohio State.
Listen, You're going to find out if somebody can put some heat on that kid, hit him, get him on the
He threw a
ground,
pick.
and you get Ryan Day going there. Michigan had him going for a moment there, but the offense was so bad. Michigan had scored 2 touchdowns early in that game.
Just one.
It should have had
It was
2.
10-0.
They should have had 2 touchdowns.
Also,
finished the
What
drive.
about the touchback that wasn't called, guys?
yeah, I don't know. That doesn't.
But
He was beat on the
Dave
plane.
was
It
getting
should've
ready to
been a
roll
touchdown.
up again there and screw it
Oh,
up.
they were panicking.
Michigan
I'm
found
telling
a way
you.
to make
If
Manny
you watch that
Patricia
game
look
close,
good there.
also,
They won.
this wasn't
That first quarter
Michigan's.
was scary, though.
This wasn't Michigan's fault. Well, I mean,
It was their
but
fault.
Marsh, we had no running backs. No, Marshall doesn't get hurt, and that if he gets to finish that game, I don't know what happens.
Michigan should
I
fire,
don't have any faith in Ohio
fire
State.
Sherrone
Actually,
Moore.
basically lost, but
fire Sherrone Moore and hire Tony Anise. That's what I would do.
That's not
Lost the war.
And
I
all
guess.
these schools that won't even give Tony
But-
Anise an interview.
So you
I don't
think-
get it.
You think Texas Tech's in if they lose? Even? I don't think they're in if they lose. I think they're out.
I think
No, Texas Tech is in. Texas Tech is in.
Okay, if it's a
BYU's
close
a
loss,
one-loss team.
if they get blown out,
It's not. Believe me, nobody's blown Texas. Maybe Ohio State or something
if they
like
get
that.
blown out though,
BYU ain't blowing them out. You did see the first BYU
Yeah.
Texas Tech game
you
because Texas
and this
Tech
game
won
is
that
in-
pretty easy.
this
yeah.
game's in Dallas. I don't know. I think Tech.
The other
I
thing-
haven't been impressed with BYU.
The
this
other
year.
thing Texas Tech has
Who knows?
in their favor is they kicked Utah's ass.
Mhm.
And for some reason, the committees had Utah
They
up
love
there
Utah.
too. I don't
Committees love
understand
Utah.
that one, but they've been right around
Okay.
12.
Georgia, Alabama. It's a 2.5 spread. Texas Tech, by the way, is favored by 12.5, so they're almost a 2-touchdown favorite.
Which is, if you watch the first game,
Bama's-
that's an appropriate.
Bama's
line.
plus 2.5 against Georgia. Georgia's a minus 2.5 favorite. Georgia has beaten Alabama once in like
In the
the
Kirby.
last 15 years,
Kirby Smart /
which is
stupid.
amazing
Yeah.
to say. So, you would think Georgia would win this game.
I don't just based off the odds, right?
Yeah. For
Yeah,
whatever
but
reason, Bama has their number.
Alabama's going to be
Saban.
motivated
Hell.
because if they lose 3 losses, you
Yeah,
may
they
not
could be
be
out.
in it.
I think it's a big game for Bama.
Bama's
They
a
need to win that
dicey
game.
team because they can't run the ball. They always depend on that Simpson kid to make plays late in the game, and he's done it.
I mean,
that's
if
how
you-
they've won their
If you
games.
watch that Auburn game, Alabama escaped that game.
Yeah.
They
That
easily
game-
could have lost that,
That
game.
game's always close.
It is,
So,
it is.
Who was the kid who threw the touchdown pass? The running back. I think Seattle drafted him in the 3rd round. He threw that pass
Hurts?
against not Hurt.
Oh, Milroy.
Yeah, Milroy. No.
Yeah, he had a 4th and 27.
I
He
don't
had like
see
a 30-yard
Bama
touchdown
winning the
pass.
national
either.
championship because they can't run the ball, and I don't know how good that.
Who do you guys have in that game though? Who do you go with?
It's going to be a war. It has to be
If you
a
have to
war.
pick.
Well, let me put it this way.
Bama.
I think Bama's going to win too.
Bama's probably going to win it. They need the game more. That's number one. Kirby's been having some trouble. We've had a couple of rests at Georgia. I know most people don't pay attention to that
They had a guy
stuff.
get
But when I
pulled
see
over.
players getting arrested,
And they didn't look impressive
and
against
to
Georgia Tech
the
either.
game doesn't mean anything. They're in the
No matter
playoff.
what.
If I was like,
We agree Georgia's solid.
I
man.
would tank if I was Georgia,
I
Ohio
don't see
State.
how they don't make it.
No, they're in. Georgia's in. Even if Bama was to beat them by
Yeah.
3
Who do
touchdowns.
you have, Georgia or
they're in.
Bama?
Just to be different, I'll choose Georgia.
Georgia or Bama?
No, you have to go with Bama. They want the game more. But Georgia has the better team.
I'm just playing the odds.
Yeah.
They haven't won in 15 years, you said?
They've had one win.
One
Now the game they won was the
It was
national championship.
Yeah,
You beat
I-
Bama.
yeah.
But they've lost every time,
It's-
and they've even lost in a national
It's
championship.
more
to
impressive
Bama
how
as
much
well.
they've lost. That's what I'm
Georgia-
saying.
Georgia's a
Game winner.
funny team. What they remind me of, they got a lot of great players, but they're kind of like bad guys, which means
You don't know what you're going to get.
they're going to
week
go out to
week.
the club. They're going to knock a few drinks back. They got the
Speed.
girls do a little drag racing.
Yeah, they had a guy
but
who was
guys
like
like
100
that,
something.
they're not
Again.
looking at tape.
Cars should be outlawed in Georgia. It's unbelievable.
Well, I would just say, learn how to drive.
Just use
Although
Uber.
these days,
There's no excuse anymore.
but they've got to change this stuff. Almost college football has to do. There's really only about 40 to maybe, if you want to push it, 60 teams that have the resources, the money to compete for a national championship. Take those 60 teams, 6 conferences with
The
10
problem with that,
teams
though,
in them.
and I agree with you, but the problem is geographically. No, but you have you have these teams like SC.
Why can't, when you do your new conferences, just let the geographics play out? It would still, I don't,
No, but
call
you're-
it the
but you're-
SEC or whatever.
But on the
Big Ten.
West Coast, what do you have as Power 5 teams? Maybe 2? 3?
No, that's your Big
We
12.
have UNLV.
No, but
I guess if USC was playing
yeah, no, pull SC out of the
Like
Big Ten.
BYU or something like that.
BYU,
Yeah.
take Texas Tech.
Boise
There's a
State,
way to do
Oregon,
this.
Oregon, Washington.
Oregon would go in there, Washington. Oh, it could be done. See, in the NFL, we have 8 divisions of 4 teams each. Same, it'd be 6 of 10. The same thing you got, and then see, get this committee out of this thing.
Yeah, I can't say
It's
The
so
top
bad.
2 in each conference, there's 12 teams right there. 6 conferences, there's your 12, okay? You don't need conference championship games, just play your regular, just like the NFL does it. We don't have a division championship game. And then maybe if you want to add some at-large bids to go to 16 or
Yeah,
whatever.
why not add 4 at-large bids?
So
So that way the
the
mid-majors...
Big Ten's talking about going
Mountain West.
24, which I think may be excessive.
I just
but-
don't see the quality there.
Believe me,
Like-
even in this year's, I don't see the quality anywhere. Well, that's my whole problem with football. These NFL games are bad. These college games are bad. And
No,
you got the
I watched
media-
that Michigan-Ohio State game, and I said to myself, this is a bad football game.
What did I tell you? I was telling you that.
Michigan, this is the game. Michigan scared Ohio State,
They weren't good.
but they didn't
enough.
have enough to
Oh,
finish.
this is how I would.
Ohio
put it.
State came out ready
You know,
to lose.
the old-
I'm telling you, if you
the
watch that
old-
game though, Faraz, the first play of the game,
Yeah.
Marshall goes up the middle for 40 yards. Now Michigan they can't finish because we don't have a quarterback. We paid $12 million. We don't have a quarterback. We hired the wrong offensive coordinator, so they can't run an offensive play. But if you look at that game was no different than the last 4 years. It really wasn't.
The Samurai.
But then Ohio State won.
No, they did because Michigan didn't have the ability to finish because they're
Can't score a
bad.
touchdown.
Well, everybody keeps saying how great the Ohio State defense is. And, they've got very good numbers. Nobody scored against them. I think they've only let 2 teams get
Speaking of
over 10
Ohio State,
points.
though, Indiana, Ohio State, that's the Big Ten championship game. -4.5, Ohio State. It's in Indianapolis, virtually a home game for the Indiana Hoosiers. You would think everybody in that state would go to that game.
They will.
Because, it's the first
Ohio will have their people there.
Ohio's not far. It's
Yeah,
right there.
That's the
But they've
crowd will be
allocated
split
tickets
50-50.
and- yeah.
Well, here, let me put it this
Who
way.
do you have in that game?
I'm going to go with Ohio State.
I think Ohio State.
Ohio State.
You said
but
Indiana.
I do think Signetti's better
that
than Data.
Indiana team that he has there is pretty much the Mendoza kid he poached from Cal out here. Although he's another one. These NFL teams that need quarterbacks this year, good luck with that because you're going to be drafting guys that probably aren't going to be very good there. But that's a James Madison team. Like that defense, he's got some kid that's 6'1", 260 at DN, and they're tearing up the Big Ten. What that tells me is, well, first of all, who do they play in the Big Ten other than maybe Oregon, which is a story in and of itself there. They always find a way to lay an egg when it really matters.
They do.
But
If for Indy to beat Oregon in Oregon,
it's a
that's
nice
great
win.
that's a-
Yeah, but
that's
if
a
you
really
follow Dan
That's a
Lanning,
great win.
Dan Lanning has his resume. So
That's
tell
their only
me,
loss
tell
of
me
the
last
season.
year, tell me Josiah, last year they beat Ohio State in the regular
But-
season.
but-
What happened in the playoff?
But
when they
Oregon,
replayed?
though,
laid an egg.
But they didn't
Has
just
Oregon-
lay an egg. That was 35-7.
Yeah, they didn't even
at the halftime. Lanning is and see, I told you guys
Hang on.
on these podcasts.
It's like it'd be one thing if Oregon. See, my thing with Oregon last year, you're playing Ohio State in a rematch. That's tough to play a team twice. So maybe you lose by a touchdown. But to come out and just get
John
completely
Ross, he won the
obliterated,
first game by
I know.
2 or 3 points.
barely, and it was in Oregon, so a
And-
different game.
And
But it still was on the West Coast.
And they that was the
Lanning.
controversial end.
Yeah.
There was. There was a little bit of a.
Well, the Ohio State quarterback, for some reason, decided not to get down on the ground
Yeah,
so you
I
could
don't know
kick
what
a
he was
field goal. That was, again, Ryan Day, the offensive guru there, coached his quarterback up. Lanning had the 2 against Washington that they blew the prior year when
Yeah.
Michigan kicked Washington's ass in the national championship game.
Oregon beat
Lanning
Washington.
had 2 shots
Washington
at that,
beat Oregon
and they
both
blew
times
that.
year.
I don't trust that Lanning. He's got
Not either.
great talent. Phil Knight's buying everybody,
They
both in
are.
the high school
But so
recruiting.
for the Indiana
transfer
Ohio
portal.
State game, you like
I got to go with Ohio State.
What do you got, Jesiah?
Ohio State.
Indiana.
I mean, obviously, I'm rooting for Indiana.
It doesn't matter. And let me say this about Ohio State and Indiana. They will both probably be top 4 seeds, regardless of outcome.
Plus, the reason why I bring up that scenario with Michigan playing against Ohio State, I watched Underwood throw for 86 yards against Michigan State. So he only threw for 23 yards more. Yeah. To me, that's not a Michigan State or Ohio State thing. He's just not.
That's a Michigan thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, that should be the Underwood.
It's an Underwood.
No, but I'm talking about when I'm judging Ohio State winning the championship. I'm judging them based off who I saw them play. To me, the way Michigan, how poorly they were offensively. If they were playing a really big time team, I think Ohio State should have beat them by like
if Michigan
4 or 5
had to go
touchdowns.
Down and play Georgia, I would say Georgia probably wins that team.
I mean, the
3,
game,
4 or 5 touchdowns.
The game I watched Michigan against Northwestern, we turned the ball over 5 times. If we played a good team that day, we lose by 5 or 6 touchdowns.
Oh yes,
easily.
Something crazy I saw, which obviously y'all saw the game. You probably saw the stat. Michigan was the first team to run over 100 yards against Ohio State, and you guys said you had no.
And we did that with a walk-on running back.
Texas went for $170 in the first game of the season, and the genius Steve Sarkisian got away from that. And you had a walk-on. What's his name?
Cudsdale.
He's a walk-on.
As a running back.
And also the other kid.
Looked good.
What's the other kid? Marshall went for 36 yards on the first carry. So of that 100, it came on one.
Yeah.
He did though. Chip Lindsey is the Michigan offensive coordinator's name. He's the one who almost ruined Drake May at North Carolina. There.
He doesn't fit
the line on his resume.
Faraz, you have Indiana?
I do.
And Indiana can win that game. Sig will get them up for the game. They'll play hard, but the only
I don't really have the players though.
It's James Madison plus Fernando Mendoza.
Ohio State recruits so well.
That Orville Reese kid that everybody's going nuts about, he was a 3-star out of Ohio.
To me, I mean, and this is a big if.
A good
I think if Harbaugh was coaching the Michigan team this year, I think they beat Ohio State. I don't think it looks any different than the last 4 years.
If Harbaugh was able to do something with Underwood. See,
I think he would have. I
don't think Harbaugh would have even been able to get Underwood. I don't think that would have been.
Well, that might have been better, though.
Well, it may have been. Although I would say, Jim, as we've all seen with... who's the little J.J. McCarthy there with Minnesota? Did I not, Josiah, express my reservations about him?
You weren't a fan.
Again, I know people...
And they won with him.
They won a national championship. Maybe
they didn't just win with him.
It could have been because
they went 27-1 with McCarthy.
Corum was.
Oh no, Corum's a great running back, and they had the Edwards kid. No, Michigan a good team, but it wasn't J.J. McCarthy
for the tournament or for the conference championship. There's really nothing else. We kind of went through it.
Yeah.
Looking at this, though, it will be interesting to see what they do with Bama at 10 if they drop that game.
That'd be crazy.
I don't know what they're going to do with that.
See, if you're Miami sitting there and you got to win over Notre Dame, how do you not put Miami in over Alabama even? I mean, Miami to me is the team that should be.
How do you put Notre Dame over Alabama? Yeah, I don't know how you can.
But I think the committee has Utah.
With Alabama winning,
would Utah get in this thing because they're ranked higher than Miami right now?
Utah's 15.
I don't think they could look at the ranks. They can't look at the ranks.
Well, no, but the previous rank.
Vanderbilt lost to Alabama, right?
Yes.
So they can't.
Vanderbilt's 2 losses are against Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah. Vanderbilt's a team, though. Those are 2 good, and they didn't really get killed in those 2 games. They were competitive in those games. They could have won both those games. Vanderbilt's defense is terrible, though. And I know everybody's nuts about that quarterback that he's another one. These NFL teams that need quarterbacks. Early reports on the draft this year, what I'm getting from the scouts that I follow, they say this year's draft's going to be worse than the Ward draft there. So good luck, everybody.
I believe it. Watching this season, I look at players, because you say I'm biased, but I do look at these teams. Yeah, the 9 wins Michigan put up, the teams they
didn't beat anybody.
I look at these teams. Basically, Michigan did a James Franklin. You play 3 tough games, you lose all 3, and you beat everybody else who you're supposed to beat. That's what they did.
I think Franklin, though, will have some success at Vodtech. I think he's
a better fit there than he was at Penn State.
Vodtech doesn't expect a national championship.
Michigan State, the pressure won't be the same. Yeah. Michigan State hired, or not officially, but it looks like they're going to hire Pat Fitzgerald. I think that's a pretty good hire for them.
I've seen so far.
The only thing I'll say for Pat, he coached in the non-NIL era.
No, but Michigan State's ready to make big investments.
No, if they come out and tell me they're going to spend money, then I think he'll be good.
Their current athletic
he'll be
director,
fine.
all he's doing for the last 6 months is he's setting up NIL.
I'll say this for Fitzgerald.
And you guys who follow
Smith-
the NBA, the Pistons owner and the nut who owns Phoenix, those are Michigan State multi-billionaires. So the money is there. The money's there.
The money.
And those two guys are both idiots, basically.
1 second.
Gilbert and I don't know the guy in Phoenix.
Ishbia.
They'll spend money. Those guys will throw. Well, apparently the guy in Phoenix was setting up landscaping deals or something.
I think Fitzgerald-
under the table payments.
That one.
No,
I
that
didn't
was
hear
the Clippers
about.
owner.
Oh, the Clippers. Oh, the Clippers. Yeah, I get
Microsoft.
Yeah.
The Fitzgerald hire does, though, from a standpoint for Michigan State, he's from Chicago, he played at Northwestern. He fits way better than the coach they had. John Smith was from the West Coast, Oregon State, from Pasadena. He never really fit in at Michigan State,
Yeah,
and you can
that
see
was
that.
Michigan
Fitzgerald will get guys from Ohio, he'll get guys from Indiana, he'll get guys from Michigan. He's recruited the whole Big Ten landscape. From that, I think he's a great
And
hire.
he wasn't. His record is 500 at Northwestern.
But it's at Northwestern.
But they're Michigan State will pay guys. They're going to have no academic requirements there.
He had to face that at Northwestern, too. Yeah, he didn't have to face it. They'll let anybody in
Fitzgerald.
Michigan State.
One thing about Michigan State, from this point onward, they're going to be pretty good defensively, and that's always a problem. You look at a school like Michigan.
Yeah.
When they have to play Michigan State, I can see
We saw this
Underwood
year.
right now. Yeah, they'll be. Yeah, Underwood's coming off an 86-yard performance
I didn't
this
think
year.
we played well.
What's he going
against
to do
them.
next year? Throw for 6 yards there?
Is there any other coach, any news or who's taking the Florida job? Tulane coach.
Tulane coach, and then we have UCLA hired the James Madison coach.
Oh, he took the UCLA job. Why?
He took the UCLA job.
What did you know his contract?
I don't.
They must have gave him some cash.
Yeah, but UCLA, that's the problem with them. They don't spend money. Or maybe they're changing. Do UCLA have money?
I mean,
They should.
There has to be some UCLA alum that's a billionaire.
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
SC
But
is spending
see,
money.
UCLA, though, is like-
and I haven't seen UCLA do that.
UCLA's like Northwestern. They don't really spend.
But UCLA does spend when they want.
Well, they paid the kid from Tennessee.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
SC
they're almost
went
$2
out
million.
and paid Lincoln Riley their. Well, I guess
$100 million.
He just has the world. Well, he
What
has
do you do with
houses, cars.
What do you do with Lincoln Riley?
If you have the number one recruiting class coming in, you just
That
Great.
recruiting class, though, is loaded with 3 stars, and it's 35 guys that they used to get there. Now, my guess is they're going to end up cutting 10 of those guys to get down to
The problem with
25. That's what the SEC has done for years. I don't know how great. There is some great players. They got a tight end. They have a quarterback. There's some guys in there that are allegedly.
But the recruiting for us, it's a count. No, it's a count though. If you get 30 guys and they're all 3 stars, that class will be higher ranked than if a team got 10 5 stars.
Which is what Oregon
Because they
and
have
LSU,
20 more bodies.
Oregon and LSU have
But
like
it doesn't-
15 guys
it's kind of
that
like-
are all 4 and 5 stars.
It's kind of inflated.
It's not even.
Yeah. It's
Now,
a body
the
count.
problem
situation.
is most of those 4 and 5 stars, though. Nick Saban used to say this at Alabama: "I recruit 30, and I hope for 10 or 11." It's about a 30%
Okay,
hit rate.
For college football, though, who are the coaches on the hot seat next year?
Well, I think Sharoni Moore is number 1 in my mind because Michigan's a
there's
big
no
job,
That was really the only thing keeping him there was his wins against Ohio State
and
last year.
Alabama. He beat Alabama in the bowl game, but to see when you pay $12 million, and let me just
But
digress
it's even
for a
the way
moment.
it
You
looks
guys know
up.
how that quarterback got to $12 million.
No, I do.
The Oracle billionaire who's a
Yeah.
Michigan, not a Michigan
He's an
grad, it's
Illinois
his
grad.
young girlfriend
Yeah.
who's a Michigan grad. And she was sitting on the couch next to Mr. Oracle and says, "Oh, I want that quarterback because we can win." So that's how Michigan went out and took 12 million. Now, Underwood was the number 1 recruit, 5-star, just as Ewers was, the great Dominic Riola. See, he's actually, I've soured on football, and I blame him because he's made me look at these high school kids, and I see the crap
You
that's
would
going
take
on
Riola
there.
number 1 this year, or Arch Manning?
Yeah, Arch Manning. I've seen all the Ewers. I'm
Okay.
sitting here telling people these guys aren't any good,
Sherrone
and everybody
Moore-
looks at me like I'm an asshole. I
Sherrone-
just looked at the tape.
It is what it is.
They're not,
Sherrone-
Underwood is not really. There's
Sherrone
physical
Moore-
talent there, but he's not that good. If Moore can't bring it out of
No,
him,
he's on the hot seat.
you got to fire him.
I agree. Moore's on. If he does what he did, he's probably done.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I think he should be done now, but that's just me. I don't.
Who else is on the hot seat? See, I think DeBoer. I don't think he's out of the woods yet.
He was the next name that popped up.
If he doesn't win this game and they don't make the playoff, those Alabama fans are going to kill him.
DeBoer, to me, kind of goes game to game.
He does.
In the SEC, it's just a nightmare. I mean, if he had lost to Vanderbilt again, that could have been the end of the story.
Any game that they lost.
They could have lost. So they couldn't lose to Georgia.
They beat Georgia.
If they lost to Auburn, he finally got fired.
Well, let me say this because I didn't get this out. Personnel-wise, it's funny because the Philadelphia Eagles have a bunch of Georgia kids on the team, their whole defensive front seven. Georgia and Philadelphia are the same way. They got the best rosters, the best players. And normally that's what I do. When you have the best players,
You usually win.
you win. But when you look at the coaching and the quarterback of those two organizations, you got problems. Sometimes I watch that kid at Georgia, and I mean, he is nails. He makes great throws. I love the kid. He looks like the number one pick in the draft. And then there's other times, what's the Georgia Brock something? What's the Georgia quarterback name? I'm getting him confused with the Georgia.
Gunner Stockton?
Stockton.
Yeah. I'm getting him confused with Bowers, the Raiders tight
I don't
end.
like Stockton.
No, there's time. You look at the tape. There are time. Even in this last game when they beat Georgia Tech, Stockton was pretty much terrible in that game, but he threw a touchdown pass. I mean, he got the hand, got his feet set, hit the kid right at the goal line. He plays like a pro quarterback at times. He's also mobile. He's another one that's small, though, too. So many of these college quarterbacks, they're all Smurfs, like that Gabriel kid that was at Oregon, the Saiyan kid at Ohio State.
All right, let's get back. So we got Moore. We agree. DeBoer. I wouldn't put DeBoer there yet.
And they lose to Georgia and it's the playoff.
I think Riley's higher on the list than DeBoer.
With mine, even though he just got a contract extension, you got to look at Rule. He has not looked good.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
The buyout at Nebraska, though, I think Rule's going to be there just because of the
money, the amount of money that these
he has done nothing
schools have to eat.
He has.
Yeah.
I just don't.
It
think
is
that
becoming a problem.
Nebraska though they've been bad for like the last 20 years, basically.
Kentucky did fire the Stoops fella, though, even though they owned him $37 million. They decided, and I was surprised about that. I thought Kentucky was going to eat the money and stay with them, but they left. So I think it depends on what. This is why I say, like UCLA. I look at SC, and SC is throwing some cash around, coaches, players. Which, if you're going to compete, this is what you have to do. And then I look at UCLA. They actually they paid less for that kid they got from Tennessee, Imala or whatever, the quarterback. Yeah. So I don't know. It depends. Do you have the money, and are you going to spend the money? And then, of course, you got to spend it wisely. And this is where the colleges, they're getting into trouble.
So we got
LSU's got 3 coaches.
I think I think Lincoln Riley.
He's got to win.
He actually might even be higher on the list than Moore, honestly.
Why?
Because the thing with Riley.
Oh, you're right. He's higher, and
he's already made 100
than Moore. Michigan's not going to fire Moore. I could even see Moore having a bet. I don't think they will. They'll hang on. He's only making $5 million.
Yeah, they want to fire him right now.
Well, then make the
they
move.
lose to USC, how they lost this year, like the game we went to, if they lose to USC next year like that, he's done.
Well, let me say this about Lincoln Riley, because I've been critical of him. The Michigan went to this Baltimore Ravens defense, which is basically a nickel-dime package. You got 3 defensive linemen, and then you got 8 defenders out there, 2 linebackers, everybody else a defensive back, and sometimes only 1 linebacker. Nobody in college, like Ryan Day, couldn't beat that. That's what saved Jim Harbaugh's ass at Michigan. They brought in the Ravens crew to coach the Michigan defense. When I watched that SC game, and I told John Ross, I think one of these things I said to Fernando, well, you can kid John Ross all day when SC kicks Michigan's ass out there when you guys go to the game. Lincoln Riley, he did what Sean McVay does in the NFL. You run against a nickel-dime defense, and then you do your play-action pass. You get rid of it quick so the pass rush can't get to you. And I'm watching on TV, and that SC quarterback, he was getting rid of the ball in like 1 second, 1.5 seconds. And I'm like, Michigan's done. They're going to run on us. We won't be able to pressure him because they're getting rid of the ball. Ohio State did the same thing to him this year. But finally, these college coaches have figured out that Ravens package. Jim Harbaugh won a national championship with that. You put the tape out there. more teams start looking at the tape. If Michigan played Indiana, Indiana would kill us because Cignetti's going to do the same thing. They'll run the ball, screens, short stuff, throw it to the tight end over the middle, crossers, dump it off to the back. The pass rush can't get home on those. And if you're running the ball, a walk-on kid for SC busted us up for $150 in that game. You can run on that. And so I think Michigan's got real problems.
What about in the ACC is Belichick? I mean, it's his.
I wouldn't write him on. I believe I've been quite negative on.
But if you have to admit, though, if he does if he replicates this year again,
losing to Duke for him was a big deal. And North Carolina State. Those are rivalry games, and he blew those. I mean, who did he beat?
What players will want to play for him when he's not letting one NFL team scout?
He's actually getting talent, though.
No, they're not.
In recruiting, yeah.
But
he's
not first year that John Ross, that quarterback, the lefty for them.
He's terrible, right?
They paid him $4 million.
That's why
that kid is horrible.
If he does this again, I could see them.
He's another one. The only thing I'll say about him is
he's outdated. I just don't think he can.
Again,
coach.
North Carolina is going to have a significant buyout because he's got a 5-year. Is it $50 million?
He's getting $10 million a year.
Oh, so 5-year, $50 million.
Yeah, but that goes down to 30. He's already been there.
They were going to pay him till he's 79 years old.
Yeah, well, see these people don't know what they're doing. You got people at these colleges. LSU needs a library, Faraz. They don't have a library on campus, and they're paying the coach $100 million.
In the SEC,
I didn't know that.
Who besides DeBoer, just because it's the Bama job, Bama and Michigan are very similar. When they win, they want to fire their coach. That's just how we are as a
you got to win national
championships. I don't know if there's too many other I feel like there was a huge purge this year.
Yeah.
You
would think next year.
I can throw out another. The guy in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
he's been given another year. But if it goes off the rails again,
he's done.
What's it? Fickle?
Luke Fickle, yeah, from Cincinnati. He would be done.
When will Kurt Ferentz finally hang it up? I think even Iowa fans are ready to.
They won't fire him though,
and they're going to let Phil Parker. Phil Parker's a good defensive coach. I don't know what he's going to do. Iowa hasn't had a quarterback since Chuck Long. I've watched too much football.
I agree with you on Fickle. He almost got fired this year.
Yeah, I was actually surprised.
Yeah. Well, when they backed him, when they publicly backed him, Wisconsin they upped their game after that. They won some games and played competitively. But things have got to change there.
The guy at Florida State, Mike Norvell.
Yeah, but
if he doesn't get fired,
Norvell has still like a $50-60 million buyout.
He can't go.
And Florida State doesn't have any money. And I'll tell you with Norvell, when he's done at Florida State, I don't think anybody's going to hire him.
No, I think he's done.
And if they do, it won't be at the dollars. The way these big contracts are worked, like Franklin only ended up getting $9 million from Penn State because Vitek picked up the rest of the $50 or $60 million that he was owed. So that's why I say, like with Brian Kelly, even if Brian Kelly's only making $1 million on TV or whatever they're paying him, that'll be $1 million LSU doesn't have to come up with. The contracts are
it'll offset.
Which players entering the drafts could actually do something? I know you already said this is going to be the worst draft maybe ever. It's worse than last year.
Here's your top 5 players, and then we'll move on.
What are some players you've seen that could actually make a difference?
I don't like any of these quarterbacks. I'm telling you. And now, but you got to understand, when you're talking top 5, though,
somebody's going to go.
Somebody's going to take a shot.
Who's the top quarterback that gets drafted?
Probably
Mendoza.
Mendoza right now is what all the media types are going on. I hear the NFL people that I look at are terrified of him, and I can understand why. Okay? This is a kid, you go back and watch him at Cal. Now, he's looked good at times. He threw a horrible pick 6 against Iowa, and he had a bad game against Penn State. He's been bailed out a couple times.
I think if Indiana played Michigan's schedule,
he'd have 2 or 3 losses.
Yeah.
Let me say this about the kid. The kid is 6'5".
Hell, we have more talent.
The kid is 6'5", 225. There's enough arm there. It's not a big arm.
Oh.
I call it. This is not going to be a big arm. Can make all these Matthew Stafford type throws. He's also a little bit more athletic than what he gets credit for. There's been times where he can run and do some things. For NFL people, this Ohio State game in the Big Ten championship is going to be huge because everybody looks at Ohio State's defense as the best defense in college football. If Mendoza has a big game there,
throws touchdowns,
he will be the number one pick in the draft.
That's a big game
next year. Now, I have reservations about the kid. And again, I've gone back and looked at the Cal tape, and I've looked at who Indiana's played. But that he right now is sitting as a number one guy.
Who's your top pass rush guy?
The Reese kid is what everybody's talking about. I actually have other players. Texas A&M has a kid. The whole SEC is loaded with pass rush guys.
There's Auburn.
Auburn has a kid who's about 6'7", 285. The problem I had with him is he's not explosive. And also there's issue.
I don't
know how smart he is.
I've heard Tech has great D-line.
They've got they have an edge guy who was at Stanford, by the way. I like this. He's a little undersized, about 6'3", 250, but was at Stanford. Texas Tech paid him and poached him. I actually like him better. Everybody's going on about this Reese kid at Ohio State because they say, well, he's Micah Parsons. He's 6'3", 250. You can play him on the edge. You can play him at linebacker. Reese was a 3-star. He's had 6 sacks this year. Against Michigan, he had 1 tackle and 1 assist. I don't know.
I don't remember his name.
Now, here's another kid, but by position, I don't like doing this. You guys touched on quarterback and pass rush, which those are the 2 most important. The Simpson kid at Bama has a chance to go in the top 5 picks, too. Now, he's a small guy.
I don't think he's eligible.
No, he can come out this year. I believe he's eligible. They're talking about him possibly going in the top 5.
Controversy. Let's look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
I thought he was a freshman.
No.
Fact check. Yeah.
He's been in Alabama for 4 years already. He never played under Nick Saban. He could come out, and let me say this
He's
about
a junior.
Yeah, let me say this about him. Again, small man.
6'2", only 208.
And they
How big is Mendoza? Is he 6'2"?
No, Mendoza's 6'5", 225. Yeah, you have to look at Mendoza because of the Tom Brady type size. Mendoza's also a smart kid. My problem with Mendoza is he's got kind of a pop gun arm, and he's one of these guys that likes to throw it into tight windows, contested. He's a guy. Signetti's done a good job with what he's had to work with there. I mean, you can only play who they put in front of you, and those schedules were set up long before he got there, and he was good at James Madison. They produced pro players, prospects at James Madison. Simpson's a guy, I hear him, NFL people, right behind Mendoza. Now, the rest of these guys, like the kid at South Carolina, he's fallen out of the first round. The idiot at Clemson, Clabernink or whatever, he's fallen out.
Yeah, he's bad.
The kid at LSU, what's his name?
Nussmeier.
I'm horrible. Yeah, they're the Nussmeier. It's really down to Mendoza and Simpson. And then after that, now, all those guys I just named could all still go in the first round because everybody's desperate for quarterback.
Who's the top cornerback, defensive back?
LSU's got a kid.
They always do.
Yeah, they got the SEC.
LSU's always
The SEC's corners generally don't go. The top defensive back and a possible top 5 pick is the Downs kid from Ohio State. And I believe he's the best football player on Ohio State's roster myself.
Even throw the ball.
He played as a freshman at Alabama for Nick Saban. No, well, we couldn't. Yeah, judging a defensive back against Michigan's passing game is ridiculous. But Downs is a player. But do you take a safety? Do you take a safety in the top 5 picks? No. Do you take a corner in the top 5 picks? Houston and the Broncos both took corners in top 5 picks, and it's worked out for them.
Who's your top running back?
Well, it's the kid at Notre Dame. I can't think of
Love.
Yeah, everybody's got him. They're calling Love now is like Barry Sanders, Earl Campbell. He's good. He's a tough kid.
I will say this: I would like to see Notre Dame play Ohio State.
Because
I can tell you, if he had that same hole, he's probably
Notre Dame will run the ball, and it's not just Love. They have a backup running back that's very good too. That's an interesting matchup.
Who's the top tight end, and then we're going to the NFL.
There's a number of tight ends.
Texas.
There's no
SC has a tight end.
Texas has a tight end. Ohio State has a tight end. Yep. SC has a tight. None of those tight ends. Well, they may go higher in this year's draft because it's such a bad draft. Utah has 2 offensive tackles that are first-round picks. Miami has a right tackle who the pros see as a guard. Yeah. See, the kid at Miami really possibly has a top 5 pick, but he's a guard. The safety at Ohio State's a top 5 pick, but he's a safety. Orville Reese is the pass rush guy from Ohio State. I'm not as big on him as others. And then you got Mendoza And the Simpson kid, there's your top 5 picks. At this, remember, this is very early, and we have we've got the whole off.
There's still games too. Like, no, if Mendoza goes nuts against Ohio State and it beats like another SEC
that is
team,
a big game for
then
him.
he could totally.
Let's say he blows up Ohio State and he blows up Georgia.
He's going
there.
The
red carpet is going to be out there for Mendoza.
NFL, we got the Patriots up 33-15
with 2 minutes to go.
With 2 minutes to go, the Patriots would have, after this win, would have the best record in the NFL at 11-2, and I don't think they have a chance to win the Super Bowl. I know. I mean, I really don't.
I wouldn't say they don't have a chance.
It's very small.
This is a year.
I don't think they can win it.
This is a year though, John.
And I'm not trying to hate on the Patriots.
Well, but to counter that, I would tell you.
It really is.
I would tell you to pop in the New England Buffalo game, which was in Buffalo, and New England won that game. So New England,
and then pop in the New England game.
Yeah,
and the Raiders won that game.
And also,
I mean,
No, but that was the first game.
It was. It was a long time ago. My point is,
New England doesn't typically have a roster that you would look at as a Super Bowl contender, but their schedule's been very easy.
Well, there's been very easy.
And
and the reason why I said they don't have a chance, Drake May's he's got hit more than anybody ever.
That's
not a formula for winning the Super Bowl.
The Campbell kid
he's
that they took out of LSU.
He's the JJ McCarthy
tackle.
of left tackles.
I won't say he's quite that. JJ McCarthy
because you can
is
hide
doing
him
stuff, Tom Ross, that I've never seen. If you got to go back to like Ryan,
well, he's the quarterback.
Smith.
When a quarterback looks bad, they look bad because they have the ball.
But it is amazing. McCarthy won a championship at Michigan, and I tried to tell John Ross. I said, "There's no way, in good conscience, I could recommend this kid to an NFL team as a top 10 pick. I just could. Doesn't have the size, doesn't have the arm, never carried a team. You want to take him in the second, third round." Back up, work with the kid. I don't have a problem. Why Minnesota did that? I think Kevin O'Connell got full of himself. Like when you win a game with that Dobbs or Kirk Cousins, or you turn Sam Darnold into the greatest thing since sliced bread, you start thinking you can take anybody.
Belichick did this. His last 10 years in New England, he kept winning so many Super Bowls. Like, I'll just take this guy, put him at defensive back. This guy can play receiver. Then after 10 years, you couldn't even name a Patriot receiver.
The two quarterbacks in that draft was the Daniels kid from LSU and Drake May. I know Bo Nix has got Denver. Is New England got a better record than Denver? I think they're tied.
No, I said if they win this game, they'll have 11-2, and Denver's 10-2.
Okay. Nix
only by half a game.
Bo Nix can make some throws. He made a throw last night.
That's the next thing I wanted to get to.
Down.
Well, actually, let's rewind that because I want to talk about the division game, Packers and Lions. I want to hear the Packers. Or,
I was going to go AFC first, then NFC.
I was just going in order, it being on.
Yeah, I think order is probably better.
Okay. Green Bay and the Lions, I mean, obviously, that was a huge game for the division. The Packers now have 2 wins over the Lions in that division. So, essentially, the Lions can't win the division at this point. Now, something crazy would have to happen.
No, they're not going to win it.
They have no chance. They'll be lucky to make the playoffs if they even do that.
Yeah.
I think they're probably going to lose this week to the Cowboys.
They lose to the Cowboys. I would say the Lions. And I've been on this show quite critical of
we were down on the Lions.
Chris
Spielman. We were all down on
I don't see it. They don't have the personnel. They had opportunities. They bought into Jared Goff, and I thought Sean McVay told everybody, and even McVay apologized for this. Can't win a Super Bowl. No, but you should never talk about that publicly.
Yeah.
See, like how I kind of talk to you guys is like how guys would talk in closed door meetings in the NFL. But you don't talk, like I wouldn't be talking this way if the media was sitting there. You have to be honest about it, and people's feelings get hurt. And it's not nice. Football's not a nice business. Somebody's going to lose here. Somebody's probably going to get hurt here in this game. And you can't win with Jared. I love Dan Campbell, but it's starting to look to me like his secret sauce
was Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And so, but if that's the case,
if that's the case, on 4th down every time.
Like all Campbell becomes,
he does though.
All Campbell becomes,
it's too much.
Is a souped-up version of Nick Sirianni. That's all he becomes. If
the whole point of going for it on 4th down is surprise, but if you go for it every time on 4th down,
and Bears fans, I'm not sitting here predicting a Bears Super Bowl win either.
Your day's coming.
Eventually, maybe.
Well, if it doesn't come in the regular season, I want to see it in the playoff. And I still haven't seen enough out of Caleb Williams.
Well, actually, before we go let's go the next game, the Chiefs losing the Cowboys. Chiefs dropped to like a 20% chance of making the playoffs.
Because Craig is a Chiefs fan, so I have to deal with him. And I kept trying to tell him, appreciate the Chiefs 7 years, 7 AFC champions. Patrick Mahomes has never ended a season any lower than an AFC champion. 5 Super Bowls, 3 wins.
It just doesn't happen. For most franchises.
What they did, Brady never did that with Belichick.
Right.
That's a hell of a run.
All 3 of us still actually had the Chiefs not only making the playoffs,
maybe winning
the Super Bowl.
Recently.
Well, I'm still, until they put that means you're eliminated.
Until they're done,
I'm not going to write them off.
I can't count them.
They're not going to win the division.
They do have offensive line issues.
Reed said
it's not just offensive line, which they've had. They cannot get that. Their left tackle has a broken wrist now. The kid from Ohio State. They can't get that fixed.
Andy Reid actually said they're gonna go after people's tonsils on the field. Like they're gonna fight tooth and nail.
If you lose, they lose another game or two. They're done.
I think if they lose one more, it's done.
I used to tell people this.
But I think they
when you're in that locker room, like when I was at Michigan State and somebody said to me, "We were going to win the Big Ten, win a Rose," I'd be like, "Who do I got to kill right here?" And I mean that literally. I mean, you saw some of the hits they put on Dart early in the game. You know what New England was doing. Dart's got concussion problems. They're coming for you. You want to run around here? And so you get a fit. And they didn't even penalize New England on any of those hits. So you take a shot, because if I can put this guy out of the game, you got an easy win.
Massive game. The Texans are at the Chiefs.
We're not going to talk about the Eagles and Bears.
No, I'm just saying.
we
talking about the Chiefs, though.
Texans will win that game.
I like them too.
So the next game, John, you had them as a Super Bowl pick. Ravens lost to the Bengals.
Terrible loss. I mean, it's a terrible loss, but they're still tied with the Steelers.
All of them
at
have
6
life.
and 6.
Every team has life.
And they play. The Steelers and Ravens play. Whoever wins that game is probably.
This is a year where something could happen. But let me say this: if Drake May wins the Super Bowl, I mean, New England, they're set for the next 4 or 5. Just like Mahomes went on a run. If the Bears somehow put this together,
this is an open year for sure.
There's an opportunity there. I was thinking the Rams right up until they played the Panthers this past weekend there. Well, I still think the Rams are dangerous.
As soon as you get to this point where you're like, oh, this is the new Super Bowl team.
Everybody's got problems.
They go out and just lose, like in the most worst way ever. It's been like that with every team that's been at the top.
Well, as I tell people, because people ask me about these NFL, and sometimes I do, like I really think the Texans are going to beat. That's a team, that Texans defense, if they can score 20 points in a game, get to 20. That defense ain't giving
up anymore. That's a 3.5 spread. It's in Kansas City.
We'll see what Kansas City took care of the Colts, and it is for the Chiefs' life literally. And at 3.5, that's the books trying to get some Texas money.
For the Ravens, though, now that was Joe Burrow's first game back,
and he looked good.
What this tells me is if the Bengals could just keep him upright, the Bengals would have won the division.
Your words, John Ross, as we were watching the game, Joe Burrow does change when we see
him out there. It's not even. He's the best quarterback in that division by
with those receivers.
They would say Jackson, but I'm taking Burrow
with those receivers that he has, the Chase and the Higgins kid and others. They're running the ball a little bit better. The kid out of Illinois, the running back Brown, is running the ball. I worry about them defensively.
It's not saying a quarterback.
No. But
changes everything.
There are guys when Joe Burrow's John Ross just his pocket presence, the delivery, the mechanics. What Cincinnati's doing there should be criminal. They're wasting. I saw the Lions waste Stafford's
they're doing the same thing.
They're doing the same thing. They should have a Super Bowl there, but they won't build the team around the kid. The kid can play though. Something's wrong with Lamar Jackson. I don't know if his legs are hurt. Well, he's taken a lot of hits and gotten the hell beat out of him. He's not throwing the ball well. He's not running the ball. I'm not. At one point I was ready to say
the ball great either.
Baltimore was going to win the division. I thought they were going to come back and catch Pittsburgh. I don't know what's going to happen. I could actually see a scenario where Cincinnati steals that thing. It could happen.
There's Cincinnati's where Burrow.
And I don't want to discount Pittsburgh, but it's who is Cincinnati. Buffalo's not playing that.
No, I know.
I know Buffalo won the other date there. It pains me about the Steelers, Josiah, because my whole life, one thing I've always been able to count on: Steelers always have a defense. You're not running on the Steelers, pass rush.
They have the most defensive defense in the NFL.
I go back to Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer. The Steelers run the ball, play action pass, and I watch this Steelers team. They can't run the ball that well. They can't stop the run. They don't really have a quarterback.
The only thing they do is that they get to the QB, but if they don't get to the QB,
the turnovers, the games they've won have been primarily due to turnover. But and T.J. Watt's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's on the downside now. And then the Highsmith kid on the other side's been hurt.
Queen is the biggest joke.
That was a mistake. The Ravens let him walk. And Pittsburgh should have known that, because if he was any good, Baltimore would have hung on to him.
Slade too.
That was a mistake.
Eagles
he's got a big contract. There's over $50 million guaranteed to that kid.
So that's my team.
Pittsburgh's spending a lot of money on that defense, and it's kind of like Philadelphia with their offense.
Pittsburgh loses, if they don't make it this year and they fizzle out, do the Steelers finally move on from Mike Tomlin?
There's people talking about that. I mean,
I've been talking about it for a year now.
Pittsburgh will not do anything. There'll be nothing till the season's over. Until we see how it is.
Well, the season's they're top.
And I do applaud Pittsburgh ownership, because unlike some of these other owners that
everybody's quick to fight on bottom out.
But Tomlin's been there 20 years, and he's had 2 Super Bowl appearances, I believe.
Like, I don't like Dabble, but I don't really understand what was the benefit of firing him for the Giants.
Well, no, what the Giants did that was because the Kafka kid, the new head coach, there was talk somebody was going to go ahead and hire him. So
that makes sense.
Now looking at, I haven't seen all this game today, but it sounds like it didn't go well. Yeah. I don't know how good a head coach.
They just had a kicker. He kicked the ground and missed the ball.
Yeah,
I've never seen.
Well, and when I was,
I never saw that.
New England had a punt return.
New
England had a punt return. The Giants' special teams was not ready to go.
Bears Eagles.
Yeah. Bears Eagles. Now, Bears are the best team
in the NFC right now.
NFC.
Now, looking at this, you would think, okay, the Bears have everything in front of them. I watched that game on Friday. Caleb Williams was 17 for 36, 154 yards.
Can't hit 49% completion percentage.
It's unbelievable.
That's not championship play from your. Now, I used to say the same thing about Jalen Hurts, and Hurts proved me wrong. He's been to 2 Super Bowls, could have won them both, and he at least won one.
Williams is supposed to be a pure thrower, though.
No, well, I think we now know little Caleb. Yes, there's all. But listen, the Bears are running the shit out of the ball.
Let me say this: in that game, I watched it. It was insanely windy.
Oh yeah, no,
it was windy.
Yeah, okay,
like I actually,
wait a second. What is it?
You're praising
Chicago the windy city.
No, it was in Philly. You're praising Ben Johnson though. I wouldn't have thrown 36 passes in that game.
No, the reason you throw 36 is to keep the run game, set up the run game. They ran for almost 300 yards. I don't question Ben Johnson, John Ross anymore about his game plans. He is taking what he has to work with, and he's scoring points.
The whole team is great.
Well,
defense.
Their defense isn't that good. The defense is forcing turnovers. Let me tell you how turnovers work. Matthew Stafford, 28 touchdowns without a pick. 28 consecutive touchdowns, no pick. You know whose record he broke when he did that?
Who?
Tom Brady, who had 27 without a pick. So they go down to Carolina this last weekend.
3-2.
Not just the 2 picks, the game-clinching fumble.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this guy who never, whole season, not turning the ball over against the Carolina Panthers, he can't take care of the football. That's how the turn. So let me tell you, Bears fans.
One of the picks was
tip.
It was a tip.
One of the picks was also a pick 6. Oh, and you lost by how much? 3 points.
Yeah.
Now, then Bears
same
fans,
way they lost.
Bear with me here, Bears fans.
Same way they lost the Eagles last year.
They get a playoff game against somebody. I'm just throwing out there. Let's say it's the 49ers and little Brock Purdy there, another one of my favorites. Purdy don't turn the ball over in that game. Is anybody going to be shocked if the Bears lose?
No.
Because the 49ers will score. I mean, I may not have a lot of faith in Purdy and Mac Jones and whoever the hell else he was, the guy he had from New England there a couple years ago in the Super Bowl. But Kyle Shanahan, he'll throw the 49ers lead the league in passing offense. So if
Speaking of the Niners,
I kind of look at the Bears like I looked at the Redskins last year. I know Daniels had the great rookie year, and I think I was the one that said Daniels was the one quarterback. I may have been wrong about that. Drake may have been the guy to take. I did talk about injury concerns with Daniels. I still don't think Daniels was that bad of a pick. But I didn't believe in Washington's roster, the whole team. One thing about the Bears, though, and I keep going back to this running game, they bullied that Philadelphia, and I'm worried about Sirianni. I think and for Phillies fans' sakes, I hope this doesn't happen. But you could be getting ready here to go on another run, just like you had a couple of years ago. This time, instead of the defense, it's going to be the offense.
Even in the wins the Eagles have had against the Lions and the Packers,
they did
not good. They look very
highest paid offense in the league. They spent more money on that
impressive
offense than anybody, and they can't score points. That's a real problem, and it gets into the locker room.
15 points.
Niners obviously won 20-68. Shador came back down to reality a little bit.
Oh, I don't. Come down from what?
He won that first game.
I love the one NFL scout said, if he wasn't Deion Sanders' kid, we're talking about a 6th-round draft pick. And has anybody seen anything?
He was 16 for 25, 149, a touchdown, no picks.
No. I mean,
he was getting obliterated.
San Francisco. But the big thing in that game was Purdy didn't turn the ball over. Purdy only threw for like $160. But he didn't turn the ball over. That whole San Francisco, they paid that Brock Purdy $250 or $60 million. Mac Jones gives you the same production. I don't trust those guys. I know Purdy's been to a Super Bowl. I don't know. It's just me. I like big quarterbacks with good arms, good from the pocket. When I see anything other than that, it always scares me. I don't trust it.
Jacksonville, I don't want to talk about the game, but they beat Tennessee. Who cares?
It's a good win for Jacksonville.
The Jags now they could
Jags
win
are at 4.
No, but they want to, and you're right. It's Tennessee.
Yeah.
Speaking of first-round quarterbacks, Cam Ward, and they have nothing around him, so I'm not ready to write him off just quite yet. But it hasn't looked good so far.
So somebody said, I think week 2 or 3, you might have been on the show, Ross, was Ward's making passes Jalen Hurts is afraid to make. Just for example.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, I don't know what the Eagles are going to do with Jalen Hurts.
Ward is able to make passes, but their guys are dropping it. It is
his offensive line's bad. The receivers are bad. Even their defense has gone bad once the Simmons kid, the D tackle, got hurt.
Really fell off of a cliff. What's up with him?
With who? They fired Mike Vrabel. They never should have done that.
Now, and this is a massive game. Yeah, the Tennessee Titans fired Vrabel. The Colts and Jags play next week. So that's for first place in the division.
Colts are in trouble, though. Danny Dimes is coming back down to earth.
Which we knew was probably going to happen.
Yeah, but the Colts took him first 2 rounds.
He's hurt, too.
Yeah, I know. He's got a fractured fibula. But the Colts took him.
Move.
They took him 2 first-round draft picks to get Sauce Gardner from the Jets. And they're thinking Danny Dimes. Yeah, but they don't have any draft capital to get a quarterback. No, Danny Dimes is going to be the man with the Colts here for the next couple of years. I don't know about I love the Taylor kid, the running back, and the Nelson, the guard they have. Their defense. The guy who used to coach the Cincinnati Bengals, the one that first learned how to shut down Patrick Mahomes with the over the top, the shell with the safeties. He's the Colts
head coach.
D coordinator. Their head coach is the guy who saved Hurts. He was
former UNLV quarterback.
What?
He played quarterback at UNLV.
Yeah. Shane Sticken.
Yeah.
Shane Sticken. Yeah, but he was Sirianni's.
You say it every week.
I love Gotta remind him.
When I get brain damage, I knew when he said UNLV, I knew it was Sticken. But Sirianni, and Sticken was his offensive coordinator the first time when they put up 35 on the Chiefs and should have won that game, except Hurts fumbled the ball away, the pick, stupid score. Sticken and that Gannon are the reason where Sirianni's at, and then Moore, the Dallas D coordinator, he was a quarterback at BYU, lefty from BYU.
Offensive coordinator.
Yeah, offensive coordinator. When Sirianni gets the right assistants, Philly's got so much talent. You can win. Vic Fangio, he's a legend in the league as a D coordinator. And they're loaded.
Dolphins beat the Saints 21-17.
I'm that McDaniel saved his job.
Yeah,
he saved his job.
He did save his job.
Which is amazing.
Oh, well, let me say this. They still haven't hired the general manager. A new general manager could come in and say, see, I wish Billy was here. Well, the problem I have with you're with Tua.
157 yards and 1 pick.
Yeah. And
it was a pick in the end zone, too. Yeah, they were like first and goal, and he just throws a bomb in the end zone to the
They almost lost.
The only reason I brought that game up,
I was hoping they did.
The Dolphins are still alive. I'm not talking about the Falcons and Jets. Rams, Panthers, obviously, a bad loss for the Rams because they could have took a hold of the NFC potentially. Now they're behind. The
And
Bears.
one thing I will say for Matthew Stafford, he came out and said it. We lost this game because of me.
Cost him. He had 2 picks.
And when you throw a pick six, anytime the quarterback has a turnover that results
and he had the game-losing fumble too.
He went down to Arizona to watch J.J. McCarthy play TCU. I think J.J. threw 2 pick sixes in that game.
And we lost by 6.
You're not winning the game, and you lost that game. I don't care what the defense did, how you ran the ball, special teams. That's on the quarterback. And, Stafford did it. Up until that game, he was my pick for the MVP in the league. Now this has happened, and it's difficult. The Rams have a lot of tough games left that they have to play. I don't know who's going to come out of that NFC West. I won't go in on Seattle because I do not trust Sam Darnold. And San Francisco, to me, they're going to play somebody. All the good pass rush guys with San Francisco are hurt. Nick Bosa.
I would say this for both the Niners and the Bears to a point. They've had the easier schedules.
Yes.
And they've 100% benefited from that. It's totally... They got to play, what were they, the 4 seeds? And they're the 4 spot in both their divisions. So they got the weakest...
And I'm not a big Jared Jones fan, and I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to win the
Cowboys
Super
are hot
Bowl.
right now.
But I'm going to tell you, if the Cowboys get in the playoffs, nobody's going to want to see them. Because that Pickens kid...
They can stop the run.
If CeCe Lamb would get his head out of his ass and start hanging onto the ball. And see, they made them trades. They made fun of when they went and got that Quentin Williams from the Jets and they got the linebacker from Cincinnati. I
think they're going to beat the Lions this week. So
that's a very difficult game for the Lions. The Lions they're injured. They're going to have a backup center. Their left tackle's hurt.
Let me say
Hutchinson is a shadow of himself.
About the Rams.
Terry Arnold was just put on the IR. If he's done for the year, your first round corner that Brad Holmes took.
The Rams, though, if it came down to it, I still think they would beat the Bears. Like if it's championship game,
if
I would go with the Rams.
If Sean McVay gets home,
that's what it is
in the playoffs. You have to make the Rams. If the Rams are the 1 seed, well, they should have beat the Eagles last year in Philadelphia in the Snow Bowl.
Honestly, I thought so.
And Saquon Barkley broke that season. Saquon Barkley he didn't get enough credit. They should have made him the MVP of the league because
who got it? Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Josh Allen, the touchdowns. He has more rushing touchdowns in the history.
I saw that. Okay, next game, the Bucks squeaked out a win against the Cards. You guys are 7-5. You're most likely going to win the division.
I just mentioned Dallas. Tampa Bay is a dangerous team.
I say most likely.
They're getting healthy. Tristan Wirfs is back. You're getting the other kids back at right
getting healthy now. They got Bucky Irving back.
The running back is coming back. Godwin, the receiver.
The whole team's
Evans, your outside guy, your receiver. There's health there offensively. And, I'm going to quote Dan Orlovsky here. Baker Mayfield can throw the football. You give him time and a lane. He's a little bit of a shorter guy. He can throw the football. What my problem with Tampa Bay is defensively. You're lacking in pass rush. And what Bowles is having to do is blitz. You're blitzing the hell out of teams. And that's dangerous when you get to the playoffs. If you're against a Matthew Stafford, McVay, the guy with the 49ers and Purdy, there's quarterbacks that's going to be even Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams and LaFleur with Love. Those coach quarterback combos, if you blitz them too much, even the Lions, if they were to get there, golf does well against the blitz. When they know the blitz is coming, but I don't think the Lions are going to be in the playoffs.
What do you think of the Bucks right now? You think they're
going to win the division?
I think it was a much needed win because
that 3-game losing streak though, they played 3 great teams.
Yeah, and they were decimated too by
the injuries.
They play the Saints next week. The Falcons at Carolina.
And
then at Miami Dolphins.
And then Carolina.
And then Carolina comes back to Tampa Bay.
I mean, y'all could go on a 5-game win streak.
Yeah. They very well may. Because this is a
12-5.
This is a pattern Tampa has. They usually get a good start. They steal some games. Baker. They went out and beat Seattle 38-35. He outplayed. They scored 38 points on that Seahawks defense, which outside of like Houston and Denver, that's the next group. And then they go through a little midseason lull, and then they get it going late. And in that division they play, come on, Atlanta, the Saints, even the Panthers, their coach is doing some stuff. They made improvement there. I just think Tampa Bay will be a problem in the playoffs. They're going to have a home playoff game.
I mean, I was actually surprised when they gave him the head gig, but it's hard to. He's good enough.
Do you like? I mean, would you want a different coach?
I mean, it's tough because I don't really see a definitive upgrade. Right?
Like if Belichick wanted the job.
I don't know.
I don't think Belichick will ever coach again in the league.
I don't know. Belichick, especially, like I'm not sold that the whole.
The only problem I really ever have with Todd Bowles is his time management. Like he does screw that up sometimes, the time management, and sometimes their play calling. Like you can see with Tampa Bay this year, that Irving kid, when they get him going and he's running the ball and Mayfield can. Tampa Bay is going to be a problem for somebody. They beat the Eagles 2 years ago. Philadelphia, or it was 3 or whatever it was. They kicked Philadelphia's ass. I could see them doing that to somebody down there.
Next game, Seattle, Minnesota. Brosmer was 19 for 130. 19 for 30, 126. He had 4 picks.
And he had one of the worst pick sixes I've ever seen.
I mean, he's worse than so they don't have a quarterback in Minnesota.
And then JJ last week, they would have had a better QBR if they just spiked the ball every possession.
That's where you're at.
Rather
right
than
now,
just
the
playing the
Vikings.
Yeah, I think O'Connell.
What a fall from grace.
He's a great coach.
And Darnold had a bad. He didn't play well either.
For Darnold, I don't trust Darnold. I do not trust Darnold. See, that's the other thing about that.
I do like both of Seattle's running backs, though.
They aren't running the ball well, though. They're not running it well. Charbonnet and the kid from Michigan State, they can't.
Walker.
Yeah, they're not in a rhythm. I don't know if it's offensive line.
Walker's been playing well from what I've seen. He might not have the numbers like what you're saying, but the eye test, when I see him, he looks fine out there. And then JSN's the best wide receiver in the league.
Everybody was kind of trying to crown Sam Darnold, and I know he's reclaimed his career.
I don't know if anybody's crowning him. Everybody's
the Seahawks have paid him big. He's going to be their quarterback next couple of years.
I think he is a good game manager. I think he does enough to win games at times. Now is he an upper echelon?
He doesn't handle pressure well. You blitz him, he gets into trouble.
There can only be top five QBs in the league, and if you gotta pay someone, Sam Darnold's not a bad guy to pay. So I'm not. I mean,
they also
they paid him, but there's no.
They took the Milroy kid in the 3rd round. I don't know. They're going to look at him as a possibility down the road. I don't know if that. He's very physically. There's a reason why
they gave up on Geno Smith, as we see. You're wearing your Raiders.
Seattle got off of Geno and Pete Carroll at the right time. I got news for anybody in the league. If you're looking for a quarterback or coach, I wouldn't be talking to that John Snyder, the Seahawks. No, he got rid of guys. They went ahead, and they won Super Bowls.
Russell.
And just let them go. Neither one of them. They're both shot. Russell Wilson, I think he's finally done now. I don't think he'll play again in the league. And Pete Carroll, I look at what's going on with the Raiders. Now, the Raiders, personnel-wise, they might be the worst team in the league.
And that's not Carroll's fault.
And that isn't.
Well, if you ask Fernando, Carroll's son or brother or something, it's running the O-line.
Pete Carroll's son is the offensive line coach.
There you go.
Yeah, well, what I would say about that O-line, though, I know whoever their O-line coach was got into it with that Jackson Powers, the kid from Oregon that they took in the 2nd round. And I actually thought he was a pretty good player. Now, he's gotten hurt. But he got into it with the O-line coach and ended up benching him. So there's been problems there. But Colton Miller is old. He was never that good. They don't have
Raiders just don't have talent.
The offensive line, your defense, and quarterback. What do you got at those? If you look at teams, if you don't have stuff at those positions, you're not going to win. You're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, next game.
Steelers and Bills. It was a close game until Queen had like in my opinion, a very dirty hit on Allen. They didn't call anything. And that fired up the Bills, and they just killed them the rest of the game.
Steelers can't stop the run. I can't believe.
Steelers were winning 7-3.
Yeah, I know they got off to a good start. They got off to a good start.
It was
23-0.
I think it was like a minute left in the first half.
For the Bills fans, what I've been looking at with them is Josh Allen starting to turn the ball over again. And when he turns the ball over, the Bills.
He only threw for 123 yards.
Yeah.
Now they ran the ball. They had 100.
Rodgers
yards.
didn't have much of a day either.
10 for 21.
And he
has a broken wrist.
Well, that
and he also you could make the case.
Rodgers. You also probably broke his
You're running
nose.
a 40-year-old.
There was a play.
Yeah, he thought he had a broken nose.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw it. He got tackled so hard that he fumbled the ball. They scored a touchdown. It looked like his nose is bleeding. It was bad.
You know what
It
the
was
Steelers
About
though,
time for Aaron.
you know what the Steelers
It's about time for the whole Steelers team. Just
call it a day.
with the Steelers, they're going to be in that 15 through like 20, 21 spot in the draft. When I talk about those quarterbacks, the kid from LSU, the kid from South Carolina,
I mean,
the Steelers
like
are
to
going
have
to probably
sellers.
pull the trigger on one of those guys. Well, I don't, you don't have one. I don't know what to.
draft sellers.
No,
I'll be okay
and
with
Sellers
Sellers.
has tremendous physical traits. Now they put him behind no offensive line at South Carolina this year. His pocket presence, his mechanics they're bad right now, but he's very physically gifted. And he's a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
But Pittsburgh, what Mike Tomlin's managed to do, you guys win enough where you can never get
Just
to the
stays
top of
around.
the draft to get the guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there 21 years. Is it that long?
And
20
20 years. He's never had a
Something like
losing
that,
team
that's
in 20
crazy.
years. And the Kenny Pickett, I thought the Steelers were going to fire him with the Kenny Pickett move because Pickett was brought in at the behest.
Be the guy.
Yes. No, but Tomlin, we need
Vouch
this
for
guy.
him.
Yes. And you would have thought the way that went that Pittsburgh people would have looked at that and said, Mike, we've had a great run here. You could even make a case Tomlin deserves a statue. I wouldn't put one up, but I could see somebody saying it. But
I can't give him a statue.
I was surprised he hung on to his job
Cowher
after
doesn't
the
have a
Pickett
statue,
debacle.
and he was
What?
better than
Who?
Bill Cowher.
Yeah, I know. Well, Cowher only had the one Super Bowl
No,
win
but-
in his tenure.
He had better teams.
Well, what I would say about Pittsburgh, I've always looked at the Roonies, and this is another moment.
To me, with Cowher, they had the talent, and they put up a great regular season, and then they would choke in the playoffs. Tomlin's he's barely even getting in the playoffs. They're kind of backing in.
But the Steelers, the thing with them is it's the team, the infrastructure of the team. They always drafted well. They had good coaches. They're good defensively. They run the ball. I remember when they took Ben Roethlisberger. He was actually the third quarterback taken in that draft. And the Steelers always did stuff like that. They got Roethlisberger at 12.
yeah.
But
Last game here,
it just hasn't.
This game was huge. This game was awesome.
Broncos, Commanders,
Commanders.
Bo Nix, they weaseled it away and won another game.
Nix
Very
is something else. God, is he something? I don't know
So-
what I'd do with
so-
that guy. He makes some unbelievable throws,
He's a
and
weird player.
then he kills you at other times out there. Hey, where did that Reeves? I know this is different, but that Reeves kid for the Lakers, where'd they get him?
Wichita State.
He was at Wichita.
He was at Wichita initially, and then he transferred to Oklahoma.
Yep.
What did they?
But he
draft
started
him?
He was
Didn't
undrafted.
he start at JUCO?
No, he started at
He
Wichita.
started at Wichita.
He started at Wichita,
That
and
kid
then
could play.
he transferred to Lon Kruger, former UNLV coach.
Crooks.
So
He was
Ross,
considered-
All right. I'm sorry, I digress.
No, we're gonna go there
Right.
next.
all good. So Ross, you're very much against the Commanders staff over there. So my question is,
No,
if
not
they-
the commander's staff. Quinn is okay.
So the reason why I say that, so I thought you were against him, but why didn't they choose to get the ball first in overtime?
I have no idea about that.
That
Quinn
was-
blew that.
That was a big loss in my opinion.
We got to take credit on this though. We were all down on the Commanders.
On the
this year.
Commanders.
We thought it was going to be
What also
down
happened
here.
to the Commanders, Jesiah? They took Jalen Daniels. It was a great pick. The kid had a great year. They signed a bunch of in the NFL, they call them last contract guys. You bring in these guys as a free agent. You don't have to pay them big money. At one time, the guy could play, and you get a final year or two out of them. And all those guys, the Bobby Wagner, every one of their Frankie Malibu, then a kid like Sandstro was big for them last year. Everything fell into
Went their
place
way
for
last
them.
year.
They had an easy last
Very
place
easy
schedule. That game they won against the Bears, to me, that if I had to take one thing, they throw a Hail Mary while the Bears defensive back is up in the stands talking to the Redskins fan.
Yeah.
This year, tougher schedule. Daniels got hurt. What did we say about the kid? He was 6'4", 195 or whatever. So they come back to earth again. And I'll tell you about Washington. One thing I don't like about them, they've traded away a lot of draft picks. So what you wanted to do was maybe sign those free agents and then draft. They don't have the draft capital. I don't know. Daniels is a great player. I don't know if he's going to stay healthy. And long term, I'm not sure if they got the draft capital to build around that. They're going to be an interesting team
All right.
to watch.
Anyway, with Quinn, I'm actually not against him. It was just a very mind-boggling idea.
Always
like,
with
why
defensive,
did he
because he's a
get-
defensive coach. He wanted to go on defense. I always tell
The
John
Broncos
Ross about
defense was
defensive.
exhausted. They just got done playing 8 minutes straight of football. We saw the
Josiah,
they were still
anytime
tired.
you have,
Commanders
this is
marched
why you
right
don't get,
downfield.
okay, Quinn's a defensive head coach. There aren't many guys who are defensive
Also,
guys that are coaches because they're not good with
Dan
quarterbacks,
Quinn-
clock management,
Dan Quinn.
decisions like you're,
Yeah.
Dan Quinn was the head coach of the Falcons when they blew that lead to the.
But even
Patriots.
that, you know why the Falcons blew that? Because they wouldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
Quinn was the
I
head
actually
coach.
blame Shanahan more.
And Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
He
cost them.
Is this the year? Would this be the year for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl?
I mean, it better than any. Okay, so we've gone through every game. What are your guys' picks right now? We're about 3/4 through the season. If you had to pick at least who do you have in the Super Bowl and who do you have winning it?
I'll go Rams Patriots with the Rams winning.
I picked the Los Angeles Rams to win the Super Bowl the day after Super Bowl, so I can't change. I got to stay on that. I'm on tape. As for who they're going to play, Patriots, Broncos. I'm going to go exotic here because Faraz was doing some on the college picks. I'll give everybody Rams, Texans. I'm going to pick the Texans. Now the Texans are going to have to get in. The Rams beat the Texans earlier this year, 14-9 or something like that. It was a real, like they kind of pulled one out of
Did
nowhere.
they sack Stroud like a
But
million
that
times?
Texans group, I'm telling Ray Lewis.
Texans are hot right now. Though.
Well,
They
but
are.
Ray Lewis with the Ravens, he'd go up to that Trent Dilfer, get me 10. You get me 10 point. No, and the Ravens did that year with this Houston bunch.
Did he have a gleam in his eye?
Get me 20. Get me 20. And they're a problem. And now C.J. Stroud is back. Now, he looked a little rusty to me. And they have offensive line issues too, which is a real problem. But you look at that AFC, New England's the best and Denver, but do you really trust either one of those two teams?
Not really.
And the other, I'm going to even Cincinnati with Burrow, I have to put them in. So I've got two
I'll
teams
say
that aren't
this:
even in
if
the
Cincinnati
playoffs.
makes it, the playoffs.
Joe Burrow's
I would be
a
shocked.
problem.
They could win the whole thing.
Joe
At least
Burrow
make it.
is a problem for anybody, and those receivers he has, they're 4-8 though. So I mean,
Yeah.
What are your two picks, Jesiah?
So I agree. I do think the Broncos and the Patriots are frauds, but out of the AFC, I'm still going to crown the Chiefs.
You're still going with the Chiefs.
I'm still
I
sticking
almost
with the
did that,
Chiefs.
Josiah.
I'm
But
still sticking. I can't count them out.
I don't know if the
just like
Chiefs
Will
can
said,
beat the Texans because the Texans will shut that Chiefs offense down, and I don't know if the Chiefs defense is good enough to shut the Texans down.
What's your NFC team?
So that one's more of a crapshoot, but I'm going to stick with what I said last week. I'm going to go Packers.
You're still on the
I'm
Packers.
still on the Packers.
So you have Green Bay beating the Bears because they played twice. This upcoming month.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win both.
Okay.
I think they should. I don't trust the Bears. The Bears could lose every game the rest
The
of
only
the season.
thing that would scare
And
me
what
about
surprised
those
me, though-
Packer-Bears matchups, Josiah, two things. The Bears are going to try to run the ball, and teams have run on the Packers this year. That's so you got to. The other thing that I worry about is Jordan Love going to take care of the football because he to me with Green Bay, I always
He's
look
a
at him
wild
as the
card.
key
He
because
is.
he gets hot. He'll throw 20 touchdowns and no picks. Green Bay can't lose. Then you get in a game where the game is won. And like John Ross says, he throws these
He had a
picks.
play against the Lions. We didn't convert it, but he did something. I was like,
And know
you can't
this,
make that
Chicago right now, when it comes to creating turnovers, their defense walks out on the field and somebody throws a pick or fumbles the ball.
Kentucky is eyeing Will Stein as the head coach.
Who?
Will Stein. He's the offensive coordinator for Oregon.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right. I read that before I came here.
Still sticking with my Rams in the NFC. I have them beating the Bills in the Super Bowl. That'll be my pick. I think what you're going to see in this AFC, you're going to have these teams that we didn't think were going to win their divisions, let alone win the conference. They'll make the playoffs, but I think at the end of the day, the quarterback will win it. The best quarterback that's left.
I can't go in with the Bills.
If Mahomes makes it, I might pick the Chiefs. They're not in right now, so I can't go with
I know.
the Chiefs.
The Bills can't stop.
I don't think it's a bad pick, though.
The Bills can't stop the run.
No, that's a problem.
Yeah, but all these teams, New England will run the ball on them. Houston will run the ball on them. The Denver will run the ball, You can't stop the run. Now, Josh Allen, and like I said earlier too, Josh Allen's turning the ball over again. When he turns the ball over, Buffalo, you know what Buffalo may have done? I think they did the same thing that Detroit Lions did. Buffalo went on a 30-game streak where they won the turnover battle, and they didn't win the Super Bowl over those 30 games. I think they missed their window. I really do.
Is there anything else for the NFL?
No, unless we want to dive into this week.
Tampa Bay and Dallas. No, I was surprised somebody didn't mention Dallas in the NFC. And Tampa Bay. Those teams.
If Dallas beats
do not ignore
the Lions in 4 days,
Tampa Bay is going to be healthy. They're going to have a home playoff game, and Baker Mayfield.
I was impressed.
And Dallas is a nightmare.
I thought the Cowboys had the Packers beat. They probably should have won that game.
Yeah, 40-40 was the final.
No, but he threw a dumb pass. The ball just happened to hit the ground before the clock ran out.
Well, you can also argue that the guy didn't.
Green Bay, which everybody talks about Green Bay's defense.
The clock should have ran out.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody talks about Green Bay's defense. They gave up a 40-burger to the Cowboys already.
All right, let's go. So Cowboys, Lions, who do you got?
Oh, I'm going with Cowboys. What's the spread?
3.
Detroit.
Detroit's a 3-point.
I'm still taking Lions. It's Lions at home -3. I'm choosing the Lions. It's gonna be a high-scoring game.
Lions.
The only reason why I go with the Lions, and I don't think they're going to win. I'm changing my pick. I was going to pick the Cowboys. Campbell doesn't lose back-to-back games.
There is that. If he loses back-to-back, this will be the first time it's happened.
A franchise that is the most Lion-like is the Dallas Cowboys. If they need to lose in the most magnificent way, crushing loss,
they'll do it.
The Cowboys will do it.
One thing I would say to everybody, though, at this time, and at this season,
I have no other reason.
This season's hard, but trust your eyes.
Yes, I agree.
Dallas's defense has really improved. Those two receivers.
They actually have.
The Lions just put their corner on IR.
I will say this about Kiffin going to LSU. Reason why he said he took the LSU job? Because it's the best job in college football. When they do play Alabama, those games will be fun because he was the offensive coordinator there,
and he'll
talk shit to him. And I wish Saban was at Alabama because that would be epic.
Charlie knows this, but if you go back to the '58 LSU Ole Miss game when both teams were like 1-2 in the country, Billy Cannon for LSU returned a punt, and LSU won that game 7, and Billy Cannon won the Heisman Trophy.
Okay.
So LSU Ole Miss is a big time. I mean, we don't care up here or whatever, but that's a big time run.
Dolphins, Jets, Faraz. Fins?
Yeah, let's go Dolphins.
Jesiah?
I think Jets will get their revenge and win.
Actually, I think the Jets
should have won the first time.
I'm going to go with the Jets.
I feel like the Jets are also like
I always root for Tyrod Taylor. He competes, and Aaron Glenn. I think the Jets. They're
speaking of the Jets,
close. They're close in games. They don't usually.
The Dolphins are running the ball. The Arcane kid is going to run for over 1,000. So. It won't. That's a game I wouldn't even bet that.
I'll go Jets.
Yeah, Jets. But anyway, so Fields apparently said that Aaron Glenn and the coaching staff went to him and they want Fields to take like a hill roll that he runs with the Saints, kind of used off the ball
like
a
a
little
gadget
bit.
guy.
Yeah, and Fields says he took that
Taysom Hill.
Personally disrespected, and he's done with the team apparently. So
Fields,
yeah,
he's not playing.
Oh, that might be a reason to look at the Dolphins.
He's
so Fields is causing locker room problems.
I wouldn't say he's causing problems.
Who's the backup?
I hope nobody's watching this betting games based on picks. But
who's the Jets' backup quarterback?
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, he's better than Fields.
He's better.
Yeah, no, he's a better quarterback.
He's been
playing, but you still have the locker room dissension.
You can almost argue Jets should have won in Miami when they played. Week 4 was it? Week 5?
Yeah, the Jets should have beat the Steelers in week 1, or they very easily could have beat the Steelers. Yeah.
Steelers, Ravens.
Oh,
Ravens.
Jesiah.
Ravens -5.5, and Baltimore's at home.
I go Ravens.
I'll pick the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens are going to cover in that game, though. That game's going to be closer than what people think. I'll go with the Ravens, but I don't think the Ravens are going to cover.
Saints, Bucks. Jesiah.
Oh, Bucks. What's the spread on that?
8.5.
Where's that game at?
Tampa.
Yeah,
Tampa's going to win that game.
I got Will on the Bucks.
That may be a 3-point game, though, as well. That could be.
No, it wouldn't shock me if they covered. If the Saints covered.
I mean, Tampa should have, against Arizona, that should have been a 3-touchdown game or win. But
they play with their food.
Well, Godwin dropped a pass in the end zone. They had a penalty in the end zone. Had called another touchdown.
Took a touchdown run away from Irvin.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Colts, Jags.
Ooh.
Colts. Actually, no.
Where's that game at?
In Jacksonville.
I'm going to go Jacksonville. Especially with Jones being hurt, too.
I feel like Jesiah.
I think Colts bounce back and win this one.
I think the Colts win. I think the back will run all over Jacksonville.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Taylor. He might be MVP.
Who do you have?
Not after the last couple of weeks. I'm actually going to go with the Jags on that.
So we're split. Seahawks, Falcons. I'll take Seattle because they're 9.
Yeah, Seattle. How much is Seattle favorite?
7.5.
7.5.
Seattle could win big in that one.
Okay, Bengals at Bills.
Bills.
What's the spread?
5.5.
5.5, 6. Buffalo.
It's going to be hard to play in Buffalo.
I think the Bengals are going to win this game.
I don't know if the Bengals are winning, but I'm taking a 5.5.
I'll take the Bills. But
Those
I'm not
can't stop
confident.
the run. That
I
Chad
can see them
Brown
being in
kid for
trouble
the
in that
Bengals is going to have
Chase
a good.
Brown.
That's an
And
actual.
Josh
I want to
Allen,
watch that game.
That actually it because that's going to turn into
you
a
got
Josh Allen
two of the
Joe
best
Burrow.
quarterbacks.
That's good. What's the over under? And it's got to be at least
51.5.
Yeah.
1.5.
There that figures unless the weather comes into play. There's going to be some points scored there because I don't trust either one of those defenses. And Buffalo is having. It's not just Allen turning the ball over. You know, Keon Coleman, the kid from Michigan State. He now has skipped meetings and
what's
shown
up with
up
him?
late. See, I know
You're telling
nobody
me
ever.
Michigan
I
State
pay
guy
more
not being a
attention
good
because
guy?
I know when you have locker room
Shocker.
problems like that, it shows up in the game. The Bills, this Sean McDermott, you better. You picked him for the Super Bowl. He better get there because if he doesn't, he might be done.
I think he's fired if they don't. He needs to make the Super Bowl. Or he's
Yes,
fired.
that's what I just said. He needs to get in there.
Okay,
With the 1:00 games.
Broncos at Raiders.
Oh, you got to. Now, the last time they played, it was 10-7 Broncos. I mean, it's one of the worst games.
It's a 7.5 point spread.
You have to think the Broncos. I don't see how you bet anybody but the Broncos.
Faraz?
Yeah,
Jesiah.
I don't like the spread, but yeah.
I don't like the spread either.
I like
Yeah, I don't think the Broncos might not cover, but
they
they're gonna
were
win
a
the game.
7.5 point favorite against the Commanders.
Is that
And they
game-
only won by
It's
one.
here.
I've been
Vegas.
betting. Pamela bet a guy. We had the Commanders.
It's here in
last night.
Vegas.
The gut went 4-1.
It's
Good in
good.
this pitch.
Okay,
Bears
Bears
Packers is
at
the game
Green
of the
Bay,
week.
which is a huge game for the division and for the NFC as a whole.
What's the spread in that Packers?
Packers
6.5.
6.5.
Oh, 6.5 for the Packers.
I'm going to go Bears.
I'm sticking with my Packers. I think they win.
I think the Packers win this one.
It being such a large spread,
picked against the
even
Bears
when the
every
Packers
time.
don't cover spreads, this is saying something. I think the Packers win by 7.
Well,
I see it happening.
here's what I would say about this game. If
See,
the
having
Packers
covered the spread all
don't see, I
season
think if
long.
the Packers don't turn the ball over, I think they could win by like 14 in this game. If they don't
Yeah.
turn the ball. If they turn the ball over, they could lose the game. That's how that's
That's
going
like
to
a
go.
football
So
game.
that's how that's going to go. Yeah, but the Bears, their
What's your
whole
pick?
thing. I'm going to go with the Packers. I'm going to think that they don't turn the ball over. But if again with Love there,
Rams at Cardinals. I think the Rams bounce back here. 8.5 spread.
I tell you what, if Love turns that ball over and the Bears have short fields, they're going to run the ball down the Packers' throat.
Rams at Cardinals. 8.5. I go.
A lot
You
of
gotta
large
go-
spreads this week.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, no, because some team by record. But like
Yeah.
you look at that Rams Cardinals game, would anybody be surprised if the Rams only win by 7 or less?
Field goal, yeah.
Now, what I would say about that too is, the Rams just have struggled against Carolina, so a lot of people are going to come in on the Cardinals on it. Where's that game at?
Arizona.
But Rams travel. I
Yeah, that's
have
not from
This is an
LA
easier game
to
than going to Carolina.
yeah, it's- yeah.
No time.
Same time zone. I would go with the Rams.
Who do you got?
Rams.
Rams.
Okay. Texans at Chiefs. Probably the biggest game of the season for the Chiefs.
I'm going to go with the Texans.
It's a rematch of the playoffs last year.
Texans.
Yeah. Now,
It's
the
at-
Chiefs have beat
it's
the
at-
Texans the last 2 times they played.
I'm
but
going to go Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs by field goal.
Okay. Great game here, potentially. Eagles at Chargers. Monday Night Football.
Chargers.
It's in LA. I think the Eagles bounce back. I'm going Eagles.
What's the spread?
2.5.
2.5 Philly.
Eagles. I think I'm gonna go with the home dog. I'm going Chargers.
Man, the Eagles are in free fall right now. it feels
See,
like.
that's what makes the Eagles should win this
That's a
game
tough
because the Chargers, they don't have
They
both
have no
offensive
offense.
tackles.
What'd you say for us?
Chargers.
The Eagles aren't going to score though.
I'm going home dog. I'm going Chargers.
I'm going to go with Chargers too because I don't think the
I guess I'll
Eagles
go
can
lone wolf
score.
here. I'll go Eagles. I think they bounce back. I'm not confident in him.
And then, but the question now, if Sirianni loses this game,
He's in trouble.
he's in free fall again. So here we go. And I got to take the Chargers.
I mean, it's it for the NFL.
Although getting 2.5, the books aren't giving a shit there, really.
What do you guys, Faraz, Jesiah, what do you guys think of the NBA so far? We're 20 games in.
We're a quarter through the season.
Bizarre.
Right?
Very bizarre. It's hard to really make sense. I mean, I think you can make sense of the West.
Well, the
certain things in the West, like obviously OKC is
20
as good as it's advertised.
Lakers are
Houston,
15-4. Houston's 13-5 at the
Denver,
14-6.
But
you're right.
The West, though, after that, it completely falls off a cliff, where it's just like
I'd say the top 4, and then you have the Spurs.
top 4 or 5. Yeah, just
Spurs
about
are
that.
kind of hanging around.
Without Wemby, yeah, they don't have Wemby. I think he's should be coming back soon.
If he's there though in the playoffs,
Yeah,
you don't want to see
See,
him.
what do you guys have against that SGA? Why don't you guys like John Ross says you guys don't like him?
I'm not crazy about him. I just don't like the antics. I saw like a play
You don't
last
care
night.
for
no, I think it's fine. He's a great.
They
I
say
like the
John
team.
Ross says the only thing he does is live at the free throw line like the point guard for the Knicks.
So the way that
He takes it to another
the
level.
way the games go, the first half SGA gets 12 to 15 free throw attempts, and then the second half it's like the opposing team's afraid to touch him, but then they have Lou Dort on the other end mauling guys.
He's a football player.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. They're running
But
teams off the floor.
Michael Jordan
regardless.
used to get to the line 15 times and a half. I mean, that's
So
what superstar
he
players
is great at.
No, you're right. I mean,
He's great
it's
at
the NBA.
manipulating the game. But there was a play last night where
He's a
he pushed off on the guy, and then the guy goes backwards, and when he goes back to reestablish himself, SGA just throws up a shot, and they call it foul.
I
But
hate.
Isn't that what the point guard for the Knicks does?
Yeah.
Too? He does
Oh, yeah.
that.
No,
same
no,
thing.
SGA does it. On
He does that at
another
another level.
And I know you're a Knicks fan, so I'm not.
I
I
actually don't mind what
And
Brunson does. I
didn't
don't mind
James
what
Harden start all this with the?
Yeah.
That's why I don't
where
like
it all
Harden.
came
That's why I
from.
don't like Harden either.
He does.
No,
though.
I never liked
Now,
Harden
SGA
either.
does play a little bit of defense, actually, unlike Harden. Harden is a traffic cone out there. And
I don't know.
and the team-
OK City's like 20-1 or whatever.
I
That he's
said on the
scoring
last
every
show,
night.
Ross, I said on the last show that they have a chance, and they might actually do it. They could beat the all-time record. They could be
They're on- I mean, they're on
74
pace.
and
They
8.
could do it.
They're on pace to go like 80 and.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like Faraz was saying, the
79 and
West,
3.
79 and 3.
to me in the West, all you got to say is okay. I mean, the Lakers, I guess, with if everybody was healthy or whatever. But
So actually, the Lakers, even though they're getting killed this game against the Suns, the Lakers actually have been playing very well.
Yeah.
Luka and Reeves are the real deal. Like Reeves, nobody looked at him as being like a second option, and he's a legit second option. He's averaging 28, 7 and 6, I believe.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And Luka's averaging 35, 8 and 8.
yeah, I watched the Lakers play a game without
Something like
LeBron,
that.
with Reeves and Doncic, and I'm like, well, hell, they don't even need LeBron. They're going to
Well,
win 50, 60 games.
LeBron, in the games LeBron's played in, he's actually played a role-playing role. He's
I'm
taking
not.
off
He's going to
screens.
help when they get him back. But like when I went to see him, I thought they needed
right
him.
now.
back, but
he's
he's-
back right now.
He has
Like-
4 points in this game. Like he's
Yeah.
he's definitely taken.
I mean, LeBron's 40. I mean,
yeah, he's turning 41.
Yeah.
He's the only player in NBA history to play 23 seasons.
But it's Reeves and Doncic
Yeah.
that are going to be the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also I like that Wemby kid, but he's got blood clots and everything.
Wemby's
else.
fine.
What's his injury now?
It was a calf,
Oh, okay.
And they're
which now
They're
teams
acting
are going to
very
be
cautious with this
very
because they
cautious.
Does Morant get traded?
Oh.
He possibly could.
Who wants him though?
Minnesota
What?
apparently does.
Who does?
Minnesota.
Why?
because they need a point guard. And that's something I actually wanted to talk about the Wolves, because they got Rob Dillingham over there, which they gave up 2 future first-round picks. Rob Dillingham came and seeded the court. So it shows how bad he is, because they don't have a point
They
guard.
have Ja and Edwards together.
It's the most mercurial backcourt.
Well,
that's
Yeah, you're going to have to notify the Minneapolis police then, because that's what you're going to end up with those two guys. I mean, come on.
It's going to be
some of
Buzz
those-
TV. It's going to be great.
Oh, it will
I can see that being a
But-
disaster.
but-
I don't know.
the,
That doesn't seem good to me.
If you look at like the play-in picture in the West, you have like
Where does Morant go though? I don't really
No,
see.
no.
Minnesota
Market.
wants him. That would be the only. I don't see anybody
I don't
else
see a
who would
market,
want-
yeah.
Let me say this though: Minneapolis, St. Paul would be a better place for him
Than
than
Memphis.
Memphis,
Yeah, I
because you don't have the, I hear in Memphis, what they say about him is the Gators. I guess that Memphis is a really bad. There's a lot of bad elements in that city, and Morant and his father hanging in the strip clubs and the bars. They seem to find every one of them.
I don't even think he's still doing that shit. Like from what I know, he's like a good father.
Yeah,
It's like
he's not getting
Well,
along.
when he came out of college, I thought he was going to be the last guy you would worry about being a problem off the court.
My problem with him now, though, I don't really like the way he plays. Kind of doesn't fit today's NBA.
What was that one guy, Francis? Isaiah Thomas brought all those guys, Stevie Francis. And
I'm talking about winning
guy.
a championship.
Well,
he's small.
Most of these guys aren't going to win a chip anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I could see him being
I just don't really know. There's not Minnesota kind of makes sense. I don't really see.
I'm not against that.
But I don't know. They must really have point guard problems if they want him. I don't even know who this Dillingham kid is.
Mike Conley is their starter, and Mike
Conley's an old man.
He's 40 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say he was a Ohio Stater.
Rob
with
Dillingham.
Greg Oden back
years ago. The other, they were all going to. Those two were going to change the NBA.
They were there in Ohio State like 07 or
06.
Yeah, I mean it's
they played against
almost.
20. Yeah, they played in the championship game against against Al Horford in Florida.
Who's the MVP right now in the NBA?
Well, that's true.
Probably Jokic or SGA.
It's one of them two again.
So Doncic isn't even.
Or
he's averaged 35.
Or Luka. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty
good Lakers
case.
maintain this type of
Jokic is leading
relevance. You could say Luka. It could be Luka's.
And I know we're focused on the West.
It's because the East.
Because I understand that, but you also the kid that plays point guard for the Knicks because he's with the Knicks. If they won the East, he would be an MVP candidate.
No chance.
He would be an MVP candidate.
Finals, but not talking league MVP. He's no chance.
He's not being the league MVP.
I'd say.
He's a Knicks fan. You won't say it.
I'd say it's Jokic.
No chance. I'm not trying to be. I'm just.
No, the guy's going to come out of
the in the East.
I'm not saying this. If the Pistons win the East,
Cade has a better chance.
I just said.
I'm not saying
if the Pistons win the East, Cade Cunningham could be an NBA. But see, I think the Pistons are going to fade in the East.
They'll be in the top 5, but there's no chance anybody's coming out of the East.
It's right. It's SGA, Jokic, and Luka.
Yeah,
easily.
So. Before, Giannis got hurt, and the Bucks have been horrible since.
I also wouldn't discount Wemby if he got healthy and could play another. Let's say, what is there, 60 games left in the season?
Yeah.
If he plays 55 of those games and San Antonio's the 1 or 2, 3 seed in the West, he'll be in that MVP conversation. But I don't know. With him, I'm starting to get worried about him like Davis because every time you turn around, now you guys are. Didn't Davis at all start with him with a calf? The center with the Lakers, his calf started. These big men, when something happens with them.
That's how Tatum and Halliburton got hurt. They both had calf injuries prior to tearing their tearing their Achilles. That's a big deal. Another dark horse for MVP, which he's not going to get it, but if the Suns remain relevant, Devin Booker's been playing unbelievable. Devin Booker has been playing great.
MVP. Not even no.
They're in the playoffs right now. They're in the playoff.
Look at their schedule. I mean, I know they're taking it to the Lakers.
I know they're on right now, but Booker's playing amazing.
Look at their
I've never been a Booker guy.
Look at their schedule.
I like Booker.
I never have been a Booker guy either. I just think the Suns are going to fade.
The Suns are going to fade.
Yeah. He's averaging 26, 4, and 7. It's great.
The Suns have a winning record, and it's because of him.
Booker has played well.
And also because of the league schedule makers. Look at their schedule.
Well, they're going to play every Western team 3 or 4 times. So
he's going to go through a meat grinder.
They're not.
Who's rookie of the year so far? To this point?
Knipple.
I agree.
Who?
Knippel?
Con.
The other.
What about that Edgecombe was his name, whatever?
He's kind of
tailed off.
And what about Cooper Flagg? I see he had 35 points.
He had a 35
points.
He's still in the mix. Knipple has just been. He's
been amazing.
He's been rock solid.
He's shooting 40% from 3.
He looks like he's already.
No, I don't know. He could make 3 when he was at Duke. You could see he could make 3.
I keep saying this. How did John Shire not win it last year with those 2 guys? He had 2 of he might have 1 and 2.
How
the
rookie of the year the year before?
They had 4 NBA
they weren't
players.
As good last year.
They had 4 NBA players.
Well, Flagg supposedly is the
next.
He's going to change the world.
Whatever. They had them both though. He couldn't get an inbound pass in.
Who could?
Duke couldn't get an inbound pass in against Houston. And they got NBA players on the court. I don't care. That's bad coaching.
I think Knipples might already be the best player on the Hornets, which I know is not saying a whole lot. But
So
for
no,
a 19-year-old rookie,
He's
that's
actually
pretty good.
so
Shoot
well.
the ball.
He's
And
playing
he
so
isn't
well
he like
that their
6'8",
coach.
6'9"?
No, he's like 6'6".
6'6".
But
So what
he's
is he?
playing
Small forward.
He's a shooting guard. He's playing so well that their coach is benching LaMelo Ball in fourth quarters now. LaMelo Ball is going to get traded. He might go to the Clippers.
Where does he go?
Clippers.
For what? That's the thing is that the Clippers have
I
nothing.
think they just want
I
to
mean, he would love to go to LA.
Yeah,
as a
be
player.
back in
the
LA.
Clippers might be
Can
the
we
most
pretty
dire
much take
strait.
that whole Ball family and pretty much say that was much ado about nothing with that whole group there? I don't know.
The dad's a great salesman.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be him in a timeshare presentation. That guy knows how to sell.
No, I mean, I'm sure they've made a lot of
I
money.
mean, they're NBA players,
Yeah.
but
He made a whole
You know,
industry. Like he had a
but,
show. He had the shoe. He has a rap line. With his
Yeah.
son.
But in
Knipple's
terms
shooting-
of winning
he's shooting
basketball games,
41.3%
who is?
three. Knipple. To walk in the NBA and shoot, that's impressive.
He made a bunch of threes at Duke. I thought he was the one player on Duke. Every time I watched Duke last year, he played well.
He looks like, he just looks like he has.
He's 6'6",
already-
215.
He's played in the league for a few years
And,
already. He
Also,
looks like
his uncle
solid.
is a NFL ref. In case you guys didn't know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I saw that too.
His flag is no longer being tried out at point guard, is he?
I think by necessity,
I think
kind
he's
of
still playing at
sometimes
that one,
he does because they don't play D'Angelo Russell.
So the Mavs actually beat the Nuggets tonight. Flag had 24, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, but
How
he
many
wasn't playing
turnovers?
point guard.
Brandon Williams,
I don't see it. Ryan Nemhard
Ryan Nemhard.
had 28 and 10. Anthony Davis came back, had 32 and 13.
Oh, Davis had a big ball. Is that Nemhard kid from Wisconsin?
Gonzaga.
That what they do in
Flag had
Denver
2
with that
turnovers.
Joker.
Turn it down.
Yeah.
That isn't right. What goes on in Denver? There's something wrong with that organization because that Joker should have more than one championship. I don't know what they
Well,
do.
they have health problems over there, and also they have a stingy owner. They don't want to pay.
Is there are they the one? Which is the one that wants to move to Vegas here?
Oh, I don't know.
What I thought there was one of the owners.
Well, the Mavs owner is Sheldon
that's
Adelson's
yeah.
wife, but that's not. They're not leaving Dallas.
But that's what she really would
They're-
like is for them to be in.
It's going to be an expansion team.
Okay, I think that's it. For NBA.
One second. Let's touch on the East real
No,
quick.
you guys didn't even say a thing. I know.
Yeah,
the
to
East.
To me, the
is-
East is irrelevant.
Yeah,
The
but
East, yeah, me
kind of
too.
is.
Kind of
Like
is.
I
The
feel
East
like,
is
And we're fans of team.
When the
we're
championship-
we have no
yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
Fans.
Yeah, but in the championship,
I'm not impressed at all by the Knicks.
there's still going to be an
I mean,
East team in the final.
It's
I'm impressed. The Pistons to go 17-4 in the NBA and any 20-21. That's impressive. I mean, you got to take it.
Well,
But
here's something that
We
you
beat the
could say
Hawks today
about
by
the
a
East. Look at because he goes on about if the Pistons make the final, and I said to him,
Well, he
and I
only
said
played
to him,
one team from
well,
the West.
Indiana made the final last year, and we see how that's helped them this year.
but they almost won the finals.
Yeah, but what's their record? Aren't they the last
Well, like,
place team?
everybody's
East.
hurt.
They're
So
safe.
the
Yeah,
East,
everyone.
there's just
I'll say
nothing
this
in
for the
East.
Pacers: if they didn't get hurt, I think they could have won the East again, or could have
Yeah.
won it this year. They didn't win it
And
last year.
is
Win
the
it this
guy
year.
in Milwaukee? I can never the Greek
Giannis.
guy. Is he now an injury problem?
I wouldn't say injury prone. He's just hurt right now. But the whole Bucks team is in shambles.
Did you
They
see
just
his?
lost.
Is he
to
going to
the
leave?
Wizards.
Is he going to leave Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Did you see his brother
It's possible.
Thanos?
Thanasis.
He had a nice dunk.
Cool. Shit.
It's really like a 3-team race out east. It's Pistons, Knicks, and I would still have the Magic in there. The Magic are 8-2 in their last 10.
They
I
just-
would
they beat the
actually.
Pistons.
I don't want to. I mean, the Cavs. I wouldn't bury them.
Oh yeah, I still
I
have
was
the
going
Cavs.
to
I
say,
still
so
have the Cavs.
Cleveland is
No,
gone.
No, I still have the Cavs.
Although they do nothing
I'm
in the
a big fan of
playoffs.
DeAndre
anyway.
Hunter,
They
according
don't
to my
do
brother.
anything.
How do you feel about the Celtics, Jesiah, at 11-9?
Are they finally bottoming out? They're not going to bottom out. It was ridiculous to think that they were going to be that bad.
We're one Jaylen Brown injury away from losing.
So is everybody.
It's every team. If Cade goes down, the Pistons are done.
Yeah. But Jalen actually might.
Pritchard just had 42 points the other night. Like, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
the
right.
Celtics are not.
You guys know
But
why?
Jesiah,
So on
especially
Twitter-
in the East.
wait,
Well, that's
wait.
why I brought up Indiana, because Indiana, I know everybody's hurt, but in the East, they found a way. What have they won? 2 or 3 games? 4 games.
4-17.
In the East, just by who you play,
The Wizards are
if
still-
you got anything, you should be around 500.
They beat the Bucks tonight.
Yeah.
Who beat the Bucks?
The Wizards,
Wizards.
which I just can't believe. Coached by UNLV former point guard.
Now Joe Dumars is
Right.
leading the NBA 3-18
Giannis played tonight.
at the Pelicans.
Yeah, he's back.
So Giannis played
Giannis is
tonight
back.
and they lost to the Wizards. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. That might be trouble over there.
That's
Who
crazy.
did that? Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say this for the East. So right
Marvin
now,
Bagley had 22. CJ McCollum had 28.
who do you have winning the East, Faraz? You had to pick right now.
The Knicks.
Jesiah,
I'm still rolling with the Cavs.
who do you have winning the East?
Magic are a good sleeper pick too.
Yeah, I was going to go with the Magic or the Knicks because I like that Wagner kid on the Magic, and then the Brunson kid with the Knicks is Brunson's a problem in the playoffs because you get in these half court. Well, he beat
he's
the
able
Pistons last
he's a
year.
3-level scorer.
Yes.
He gets others involved.
And he gets in the paint and gets all them fouls. But I also like that Wagner kid with
Franz Wagner. Yeah.
Well, my question is can Cooper Flagg be as good as Franz Wagner? That's the question I've had about Cooper Flagg the whole time.
I actually don't think they're that far off. Franz is way better right now, but it's not
Yeah,
a huge level.
But Cooper Flagg was the number one pick in the draft.
I still
He's
believe in
18.
Cooper. I still
What?
believe in Cooper.
He's 18.
He's
and
a
I like,
young 18 too.
He's a young 18.
No.
He just broke LeBron's record for like most
35
most
points. Yeah, 30,
It's so
30 he's the
early.
youngest player to score 35 in a game. Now,
I still think he's
on
going to
this
win Rookie of the
Mavs
Year
team,
too.
on this Mavs
could.
team, he's going to get shots. I will easily get 20 shots a night.
And the Mavs are going to try to sell AD, Kyrie, and get young around him.
But again, I don't know who would want AD or Kyrie. I'm sure there's somebody.
They're championship players. A team will want them.
Kyrie with the torn ACL at 35.
And
Yeah,
AD with his injury.
Kyrie.
The thing
I'm
is,
not saying they're
And
gonna
what
get-
is he?
I like Kyrie more than
Kyrie
AD.
They're not
Which is
getting
crazy.
They're not getting a huge.
Yeah, actually, Kyrie
it's
is
a legit
probably.
No, I trust Kyrie more.
2 first-round picks and 2 bad salaries. That's all it will take.
I don't know if I do that.
I don't want to hear one. And the East,
What? Yeah. What
I like the Knicks. No one's mentioned it in this conversation, but I can't bet on Mike Brown. I'm not betting on him. I'll take the Pistons over
How
the
did he
Knicks.
end up as the Knicks coach?
And
That
even
question
Franz's
ran
face
through
knows
my-
when it gets down to it, you're not Mike Brown ain't getting it done for you.
Well, no, you saw that
That's just
last.
I'm
The guy.
sorry,
Who was the guy
Franz.
from Indiana?
If you
Who
had
was the guy from
the guy from
Indiana?
last year,
Tibbs, Rick Carlisle.
if they had Thibodeau,
Carlisle stole the East last year.
if they had
is what he did.
Thibodeau, I would go with the Knicks this year. I can't go with Mike
How
Brown.
is Miami doing?
They're
good.
They're 3 seed.
They're okay.
And I wouldn't count them.
This
out.
might be
You know
another
what?
Miami
Actually,
year.
here's my pick. I'm going to go with Spoelstra to come out of the East.
They're
when it's all
14
said and
7.
done, because he's going to end he's going to beat Mike Brown.
See, that's
He'll
what I
beat
think
Mike
too.
Brown.
And when it gets to it, I'm
And
taking Mike Brown.
Cleveland
And I
can't
think
do
Bickerstaff's
anything
better
in the
than Brown.
playoffs, and the Pistons will fold. They've never been through the. No, Miami's coming out. Miami or Orlando's coming out of the. Out of the East. That's what I think.
Yeah, so the Heat.
And I'll
are
tell you
back,
something
and
else.
that's without Hero. And Norman Powell's been playing great. Bam's been playing.
There's
good.
no
He's back.
chance that Tatum comes back
great.
this year for the Celtics.
He's not sleeping with the
Josiah.
Wolves.
Probably not.
No chance Tatum comes back.
Probably not.
No,
None.
no chance. Because
So
even
he
if he comes
won't
back,
even play in playoff games.
no, because even if he comes back, we still don't have a big rotation. And like the team,
Yeah, but in this East group,
See, my thing though, if you're the Celtics, let's say you could make it to the playoffs, you're the 8th seed. If you had Tatum and Brown come
Go
back,
for it.
they
That's
could
what
beat
I'm
any of
saying.
these teams.
Yeah,
I'm talking
I'm saying.
about. Why wouldn't you go for it?
why
We want to lose. We're Celtic. I mean, I don't
Why
understand.
rush Tatum?
You're not bottoming
Why
out.
rush Tatum back and?
No, I'm saying he's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm
If
saying
he's
he's healthy.
but that's why I brought this up. If Tatum comes
He's
back,
not going to be 100%.
we don't know
It
that.
will be a rush.
I want Joe Burrow was supposed to be out through Christmas, and I watched him play the other night with a
Well,
turf toe.
in
And he was
football,
now an
anything
Achilles
happen in
tendon
one
is,
game.
is hard. Achilles tendon for a big man. When I don't know what Tatum's health report is.
I mean, he is.
But if
young
you
and
have
ready,
him and
he
Brown
is
on
the
this
court.
East, you're going to tell me they couldn't beat the Knicks in a
That's what I'm
7-game
saying.
series.
No, they can't.
Unless Sam
With
Hauser
Tatum and
plays.
Brown.
Yeah.
No,
Unless Sam
I think
Hauser,
the Celtics.
John, unless Sam Hauser plays.
He's been playing a bunch.
Yeah.
Didn't you just say Porzingis had 42?
No,
You-
he's
said
on the
Porzingis
Hawks.
had
No,
42.
Pritchard.
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 He's the guard. He's the 6-foot guard that wants.
He's
to
not a
play.
playoff player though. You're not running out.
I
there
like
with him.
Pritchard, but yeah,
No, he's a good player.
The Celtics got rid of Porzingis.
Yeah. No, they did get rid of all their guys.
we got rid of him.
So-
and Drew.
Oh, so they did attempt to break the team up.
The last
It's because Tatum's out for the season. There's no reason to rush him back. decimated.
Every NBA, not that decimated. Like
You haven't been on a bad team. You don't know what decimated.
yeah,
You got to watch it.
I saw
the Knicks and the Pistons.
I've been there when the Pistons had 15 wins.
I saw the Chris Humphrey Celtics teams. Like that was a bad fucking team.
This is not.
When was that?
The Celtics are not that bad.
2013.
The
It was when we
Celtics
got
are.
rid of
Well,
everyone.
the whole reason I brought up
One
Tatum
bad
was,
season.
in my mind,
that's a
if
really bad
Brown and
team.
Tatum are healthy,
The
come
Pistons and
playoff,
the Knicks have had like years.
would it be in
after year
an
after
Eastern
year
Conference
back.
semifinal or possibly even a final? I wouldn't be stunned to see the Celtics there.
I wouldn't either.
Cleveland can't play. The Knicks have their issues. This Pistons team is too young.
So
Spolstra,
every NBA champion has in the last like 20 years has been in the top 5 of net ratings, so that's your overall point differential. Right now, the top 5 teams in the league, the top 3 are in the West: OKC, Houston, Denver,
oh, we forgot about Houston too.
and then then it goes to the East: New York and Miami. Those are the 5.
I'm going to pick Miami to make it out of the East. Spoelstra's done it before. I don't even know who Miami has, but I could see. Well, in that Eastern Conference, you get in a play, and I do like Brunson in the playoffs. He's shown he can control a playoff series, and he is a point guard, and he's a different point. Who was that guy the Knicks had years ago from St. John's? He was the first point guard I ever saw that would go down and post guys up in the
Mark
paint.
Jackson.
Yeah, he was like 6 feet
4
tall.
years ago.
Yeah, long time.
I know, I was trying to think, like, who in the last 10 years?
No, did I say 10 years? No,
No, you
Jackson's
just said a
like
few
20
years.
or 30 years.
Yeah.
But Mark Jackson is like,
I think he
one of
played for
the big
Louis
East-
Carnesecca at St.
Yeah, he did.
John's.
No, he did. Well, people make fun of Mark Jackson. In the playoffs, he
Yeah.
was effective.
No, he's a Hall of Famer, right? Or is he borderline?
Mark Jackson, no.
I don't think
he's
so.
not in.
Okay,
Because he actually had his best years in Indiana.
speaking of St. John's, college basketball, super early so far. We're only like 7, 8, 9, 10 games in at most. Who have you guys been impressed with in college basketball so far this year?
Michigan.
Well,
I'd say Michigan.
Arizona impressed me when I saw them.
Arizona
I mean,
always
but
does that, though.
Michigan was walloping people.
Yeah,
They
and
were.
Nobody's ever done like
Purdue's
what that-
Purdue's impressed me as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of expected Purdue to be, they were the preseason #1 team.
Michigan was 6.
So, but Michigan,
Yeah.
blowing out,
No,
massacring.
So me, Jesiah,
Teams.
Fernando went to the
Went to
game.
the Gonzaga game.
yeah,
I went Monday, watched the play against San Diego State.
which they beat them by 40.
I was sitting next to San Diego State fans, and I've watched us being in the Mountain West. How many times have we
we've
watched
seen
San
San Diego State. Yeah,
I like the fan said he's like, I can't take this. I've never seen us lose by 40.
And that's how Fernando felt.
And I was kind of like, oh, it's one game, whatever. I could flush it. And then I thought it was kind of a fluke. And then I went and saw him play Gonzaga. Well, the next game they played Auburn.
yeah.
Now Auburn is not the same team as they were last year. Totally different. It's Bruce Pearl's son. They have Petford, who's like the only returner who beat us last year. We beat him by 30, which was still impressive. The line was like 5.5, 6.
Yeah,
They were underdogs against Gonzaga, as the final
Yeah, it was I think a 2.5.
2.5. They opened as a 1 favorite. They won by 40. So Michigan's been impressive.
yeah.
So
What
What
you
Michigan-
should say about Michigan, though, is if you look at that San Diego State, Auburn, Gonzaga, that almost sounds like what you'd have to do to
That'd be
get
like
to
the
the
tournament
Elite
run.
Eight,
Mhm.
in a tournament. Now, would anybody be shocked if San Diego State wins the Mountain West? I don't know what Auburn's going to do in the SEC.
Who is the favorite?
You know Gonzaga is going to win.
The West Coast Conference.
Yeah, they're winning. They're going to win 25 games.
Who's the favorite
20, 25
this
games.
year?
It'd probably be between San Diego State or Utah State, I think.
So okay, I mean,
So San Diego State's probably going to be a tournament team. Auburn may be a
Likely.
tournament team, and Gonzaga will be a top 4 seed. They're going to be a 2, 3, 4, 5 seed. So when you go on a run, the media is going nuts about Duke. I haven't watched Duke play. They've got the 4
my problem with
freshmen
Duke
or
though
whatever.
is John Shire. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
think he's the guy.
Shire's the
And
coach.
to me, I don't understand.
And
Calipari's shown
all-
everybody you're
all
not
the-
going to win the thing with freshmen.
all what Duke has done is replaced what Calipari's done. at
Yeah,
Kentucky.
exactly.
He gets
That's what
the
I'm
top
saying.
Yes,
guys.
top guys.
And when you get in a basketball game,
Cooper Flagg
Where
had
it's
what,
a-
8 to 10 foot jump shot, and he didn't
I don't
make
blame
it.
him. It was the 8 turnovers they had before that.
Well, whatever.
and the missed free throws they had before that.
I think he missed a free throw or two in that sequence as well. So
No, it
It
was
wasn't him.
Yeah,
the only freshman
It
I've
was the guard.
seen,
It was the point
the
guard.
only freshman I've
the
seen
only guy that didn't make the
that
NBA.
stepped in and finished the whole thing was Carmelo Anthony. He carried Syracuse.
Davis did it too.
Who?
Anthony.
Oh
Davis
yeah,
did
that's
it.
right. Well, but Davis
Zion
was
did
also
it at Duke,
surrounded
too.
at Kentucky. Carmelo Anthony didn't have that much around him at Syracuse. People forget that.
They had Akeem Warwick. They had the shooter, the white shooter. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the white shooter that lit up the NBA.
No, but in college he was ridiculous.
But I'm saying Kentucky had like 5 NBA players, starters, guys that went into the league.
The only guy they had that was good was Randall.
Yeah, but Kentucky had a lot of first-round draft picks there. Carmelo Anthony delivered.
Devin Booker.
Wasn't Randall? Who was Kentucky's best player?
For when they
Teague's little brother?
When they had Anthony Davis?
When they won it. Yeah, I mean, it's not Randall. It was the other guy that was at the power forward, small forward. It wasn't even Randall.
It's a good team.
No, it wasn't Boogie, was it?
No. They came after him.
Calipari's had so many guys.
He has the most first-round draft picks of all time.
Yeah. But
they had Teague.
Who?
Marcus
Teague.
Teague was terrible.
Not Jeff. They had MKG, Kid Gilchrist.
Michael Kidd
Bust.
Gilchrist.
Who was bust in the NBA.
Second overall pick, but he was a beast in college.
Well, anyways, in my mind, as I saw the two teams,
Kinda
if the
similar.
Kentucky team played the Melo team, Kentucky had better players than what Sarah. Now, Melo's
I
an
don't agree
NBA.
with that totally.
I'm talking the total team. Melo's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Well, Davis will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Kentucky would win. Well, I don't know because Calipari is so questionable as a coach. Kentucky should win the game. But let's college basketball. What Michigan did was impressive. Arizona had a game. See, I see Arizona every year. There's always some West Coast tournament they're in.
They do well.
They kick somebody's ass.
And then they lose in the second round.
They get in the tournament.
I don't like the Arizona coach, Tommy Young.
You know what else I noticed though?
Floyd?
Is it Tommy Floyd?
I think.
Yeah.
He's from Gonzaga.
Yeah, he was Mark Few's assistant.
The Big Ten, if you look at Purdue,
McNamara.
Michigan,
Jerry McNamara. Yeah.
Purdue,
From Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Michigan, Illinois, Michigan State. I think all those teams are in the top 15 right now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so now the Big Ten, as John Ross will tell you, the style that they play.
Oh, Michigan State's been impressive too.
I just said top 15.
They just took Carolina.
And Izzo, Michigan State can't shoot, so I don't know how that's
the problem I have.
They beat UNC too.
The problem I have with the Big Ten.
He's got Duke coming up, I think, Michigan State.
The league, Michigan and Michigan State both have to play Duke. The Big Ten is so poorly run from a basketball standpoint.
Yes.
It does not prepare
the way
you
it's
for the
officiated.
NCAA tournament. Both these teams, these Michigan and Michigan State and Purdue, they're going to get so messed up in the conference. Somebody's probably going to get hurt.
I mean,
something bad is going to happen to one of those teams.
from an era where I saw what they did to Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan. Shaq. You guys have even seen some of this. There are guys that would just young LeBron, they would just hit him on the way to the hole, and they don't. The Big Ten is even worse than that. I mean, it gets to the point in the Big Ten when you watch a game, it's not even a game. When Michigan goes to play Purdue, I guarantee you right now, Purdue's going to shoot the free throws, 30 to 40 free throws.
22.
And Michigan will be there with 5 free throws.
Yeah.
How are you going to win that game? And yet it'll still be a close game. You know what else about Michigan, though? That Lendenberg guy, the $3 million.
That's who I wanted to say.
He is the first time I've seen at Michigan in a long time, probably since Glenn Rice. That Lendenberg could win a game. Like if you were in a tournament, he can make a 3. He can handle and pass. He can rebound.
We were at that game.
Well, I don't know how he's going to do in the NBA because he has no athleticism. But
he did a 360 windmill.
I'm talking NBA. In the NBA, he will be a guy. He's 6'8".
He's not.
He's 6'9", 240.
He's not Anthony Edwards, but he's not.
Well, the kid from Auburn last year, who was the center for Auburn last year?
Broom.
Yeah.
Broom couldn't jump over a piece of paper.
Lendenberg is a little bit better version.
Broom couldn't dunk.
You're out of your mind.
So we got Lendenberg going to the Hall of Fame.
No. You're saying he's 6'9", 240.
He's a guy.
He did a 180 windmill. And
in my opinion, anybody that's 6'9" should be able to do a 180 windmill.
And you're talking about Broom. Broom couldn't jump over a piece of paper.
And I said Lendenberg's better. But in the NBA, his athleticism. You know what's Lendenberg's going to make it in the league? Because he can shoot and handle. And I don't even know if he's going to make it in the league.
Yeah, I don't think
so.
Only because his age, because he's an old 23.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Who in college basketball are you unimpressed with so far? I think St. John's has been a major letdown to this
Yeah, I
point.
mean,
Yeah.
I would also put Florida out there. I didn't think Florida doesn't have any guards.
I don't love their guards.
And that's a problem when you don't
Well,
have guards.
they were an all team last season, so it makes sense that they kind
Florida
of
does have
fell
a
off
big
little
front
bit.
line, but you don't have guard. That worries me about Michigan too, because when old Cadeau goes down, they don't have a backup point guard. So that could be a problem. See, that's where Lindenberg comes in because he can handle the ball a little bit and play up.
So the game we were at, and it was one game, granted, but
Yeah.
I kept saying, John, like, who is this guy? 'Cause I never watched him play. I didn't know who he was. And just on the court, his awareness, even without the ball,
he's got a high basketball
he's in the
IQ.
right place at the right time every time. He had 2 blocks, 2 steals just by being in the right
And
place.
maybe there will be a translation of that to the NBA, but
Yeah.
that's why he will make it in the NBA. See, when I look at athleticism, I think of guys like Will Chamberlain or Shaq or LeBron.
Those are
that's when I
one-on-ones.
look. You want to talk about a 180 windmill? Okay.
Well, right,
Those guys will take the guy and the
those
ball
are
and
a
stuff
dime a dozen.
Yeah, but when you say Lindenberg's athleticism,
There's no LeBron
he's
in this
marginal.
draft. I'm sorry.
There's no margin.
There's no
Will
Will Chamberlain. in this
Where
draft.
was Lindenberg going to go in last year's draft? If
Late
he gets
first round,
late
second
first
round.
round,
And
yeah,
he's
second
probably still
round.
gonna be late
And
first
my
or
guess
second.
is, even if he goes on a big time tournament run this year,
It's probably
that's
not going to go too much higher.
exactly that's what my
Only
point.
because of his age, because he's
But he is a
senior,
guy
he's
at the
23.
college level. If everything breaks down for Michigan offensively late in a game, I think he could make a play, which Michigan has not had in a long
It's
time.
to me, it's too early yet, though. I don't get
And-
really into it until the college play
Yes,
starts.
I wait till the
I'll
Super
say this for
Bowl's
Michigan:
over.
if Michigan finishes in the probably top 2 seeds in the Big Ten, they're probably a 1 seed.
Maybe.
I think so.
I think Michigan's more going to be one of the top 4. People don't realize in the Big Ten what you got to do on the road. Winning at Purdue, Illinois,
Does the
Michigan
Big Ten
State.
get 2 1 seeds this year?
You can almost argue with them.
At this
Yeah,
point,
Michigan
that's
State
an
is
At
argument.
this
Michigan.
point, yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, it's a yes.
Which obviously can change. I mean,
Purdue is the real deal too. Anyway, that's essentially it, right, guys? Do we have anything else we want to add?
no, I think next week is huge for college football because we'll have the final 12
Yeah.
and then we can, go game by game at that point.
There shouldn't be too much
Championship
that change.
UNLV, yeah.
Duke winning would be kind of chaotic for the playoffs.
Duke winning would
Duke football.
yeah.
But Indiana and Ohio State are in. Texas Tech is in. The only way BYU can get
I don't
in
agree
is
with
to
that
beat
totally.
Texas Tech.
If they get killed, I don't think they're in.
Oh, Texas Tech is in. They're in.
If they get beat by 3 touchdowns, I don't.
First of all, BYU isn't going
it's probably not going to happen. But if it happened, I'm just saying if it happened. A&M's a lock.
A&M.
Yes, A&M's going to be. No, it's all.
Is Notre
pretty
Dame a
much-
lock?
It's pretty much
I would
determined.
probably say Notre Dame is
Yes, Notre Dame's a
Which I don't
lock.
think they should be, but they're in.
Georgia is a lock.
Another one to watch too
Georgia's a
is if Alabama loses
They're
to
not a lock, I
Georgia.
don't think.
Bama might be out.
That'd be
Because
crazy.
they have 3
I will
losses.
tell you this: if Bama did Bama beat Texas? They did, didn't they?
No, I thought they played Georgia.
I don't think they
They
played
didn't play
Texas.
Texas. God, the scheduling.
Bama's. I'm almost to the point where I'm about done with college football
Well,
because it's so bad.
If Bama beat and loses to Georgia, and it comes down to you take Texas
Bama
or
lost-
Bama.
Bama
that
lost-
could be an interesting.
See, Bama has a horrible loss to Florida State.
yes,
Bad
that's what's
loss.
killed
Killed
Alabama.
It was week 1 though,
It was.
but it still counts.
And then they-
And it's a loss that doesn't age well because Florida State keeps playing.
Now, their loss to Oklahoma is not a terrible loss. Oklahoma's good.
That's not.
No, but I mean, Oklahoma's in the tournament.
Oklahoma's a team.
Anyway, we'll see how this.
That's what we'll talk about next
plays
week.
out.
All right, guys, this will do it for Club Rats. My name is John.
Faraz.
I'm Jesiah.
Ross
Okay.
guest appearance.
We'll see you guys next week. Remember to like, subscribe, comment. Peace.